Welcome, ladies and gents, to day two of Playtonia Feet Mate Ground Zero. Yesterday was a banger. Today's going to be a banger, and I've got a banger too. Not that side, this side. It's Elite Esports, aka Mark. How are you doing today, my man?
I love it. Do you know what? I work from home anyway, and I've been sitting there at home. I watched the replays again twice from yesterday, and again, I'm still shocked by how quick those first two games were for us. Like getting to a phase 6 and to a phase 7, and we was closing games out. I'm hoping we see the same again this evening, and we get some great action out of the bat.
Yeah, there was a qualifier that we did together, 2 weeks ago, and I said we're gonna have a game that ends in 28 minutes, and it ended in 28 minutes, and we were like, that was super quick. These were ending phase 6 and 7 yesterday. This lobby speed run into the finals, and that's what we're all here for. So we have some stats, we have some graphics, production. Let's roll it on in. So of course we're going to start with the prize pool. It's a big old prize pool. There's a lot of money up for grabs, and all the way down to 5th place. But then, Mark, those extra little trinkets, those 500 AEDs to put in your back pocket for being the MVP and getting the most kills. Oh, what a personal little payday that is.
That's the one I'm watching. I said it yesterday. MVP, most kills. Get the prize pool in, get the first to 5th in. Be pumping for that. We got some huge contenders already showing our way that they want first to 5th. MVP, that's the one, baby. That's the one.
So obviously, with the money up for grabs, and well, we're going to see the tail of the tape so far and see just who's looking good. But before that, we're going to go through obviously the map pool for today. So yesterday we did Erangel, Miramar. Today it's the reverse. It is a best of 10 for this qualifier over the course of 2 days. So just 5 maps to play. Obviously, standard rules apply. Your placement points are there right on the screen, and one juicy little nugget to add to that chicken dinner, possibly for each kill that you get. So points mean prizes. Placement points are important, but it's all about that balance, Mark.
Yeah, we saw a good balance yesterday, and we spoke about this a lot, but with starting with Erangel was different for a lot of these teams because the standard for his best of 6 normally, and we start with the Miramars like you're seeing this evening, and this is what they're normally used to. So actually, I think it threw a couple of teams, but hey, Ghetto Gang came up, was swinging, even taking second place, 10 kills, and they tapped themselves out and went done dusted. Miramar's going to be an interesting one. We saw some teams really capitalize on the Miramar, but we also saw some teams actually struggle with it.
We did indeed. And, it's that home field advantage that we talk about very, very often. And here is your crew for tonight, your warriors that are charging into battle. And my word, it was a battle yesterday. A lot of really well-known names, a lot of names that are coming in, maybe not as well-known, but they are forging themselves into the history books and onto our tongues.
Yeah, I'll keep with my bets with the Toxic Gang giving a bit consistency here. Ace Crew, we spoke about them a lot yesterday. I want to see if they can build that gap that they're leading coming into today. But there's some outside bets, and really like people like Solo, people like Secura, Pink Pony as well. We spoke about a lot. These guys need to ensure that they build on the momentum they had, and Pink Pony need to ensure they get out that right hand side of the table because they topped qualifiers most times.
They did indeed. And, you can get in those ruts, and one bad day can affect your mental. 2 bad games even can kind of shake you down for the rest of the night. And we got to hope that they've had, a little pep talk, and they'll come out swinging, stampeding, if you will, as they have been so good. But it is time that we think about that leaderboard, and we break things down because it's close. There are people that, like we talk about, are getting that momentum. If they can carry it into day 2, they might just run away with it. But with it being so close, I still think everyone can qualify here. So, of course, Ace's crew sitting up the top, 60 points, 18 points ahead of second. The last 2 games, they come alive. They are big dogs. They are big names in that team, and they laid down the law. It seemed like they took a little bit of time to get up and running. No tag, though. They had a couple of good games. They got themselves up into second. Your boys, the Toxic Players, with 39 in third. Bitfix, some of my boys there with 38 points. Solo on 36 points. Cran, wow, that game where they were king of the castles on Miramar, they put down a big kill total and they were rewarded with it. Ghetto Gang sharing the same amount of points as them in 7th, and Friends round out your top 8. Let's have a look at the bottom half of the leaderboard, Mark.
Yeah, and let's not forget that the top eight and the ninth place, it was very, very close. But you got to remember, it's based upon those kills. Those guys actually picking up more kills put them to eighth place compared to what you normally see historically. But this is what I want to talk about: overall leaderboard based on kills, because we know kills and steals, they get the points on the board. And ace, so we saw them creeping on this leaderboard, but they actually at the very, very last couple of games they kind of started to dominate, especially with Purdy, Michael, and then obviously the guys are sort of working their way up. JR again getting huge amounts of knocks. So that whole team putting a great show on. Jekka, we saw him in the kill feed loads. Solo managing to get themselves up here, but actually having a bad start. They're actually now starting to work their way through. And again, talking about not the best starts, but more of a consistency build. BFG is working their way up, and BFG for me are they've got momentum now. Let's see if they can. They haven't lost it from yesterday. I want to see if they can be able to get and keep these kills high. I'd like to see a couple more of their guys up on this sort of leaderboard, even on the knocks and or kills.
Absolutely, and we're gonna jump on over and have a look at a start that's probably my favorite, which is the damage. You know, we all know those ADR players, those players that relish and thrive off of damage, and it's a clean sweep. It's the four aces. I mean, that's a hell of a hand in poker, and they've had a hell of a hand in the damage for this lobby. I mean, together they are well over 7K. It's disgusting. And then your boy Xhaka coming in at the fifth place. But seeing a team being that dominant, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the damage, they need to be stopped, and they need to be stopped early because, again, they're a team that once they get the momentum in a game, they then steamroll. And
Yeah,
forget about winning a game and then carrying that momentum on. In a lobby, they can get that momentum, and they are impossible to stop.
yeah. Does anyone have the answer to Ace at the moment? Can they stop this movement that we're seeing? Um, Great rotations, great kills, and we saw huge amounts of this. But STEM, especially where they were just dominating on the kill, they got a knock, and all four players. And this shows in the damage. All four players were then just working to get that confirm out nice and quickly for them, and they're all putting the points on the board.
That they are, and it's it's a joy to watch these boys. And I know a couple of them personally. I know a couple throughout a lot of the teams personally, and it's always a pleasure to watch your friends competing at this level and do very, very well. On that note, though, Formulation Gaming, they come second. Uh, coming into the qualifier, much like Pink Pony top of the group, Formulation Gaming. We've got friends on Formulation Gaming, and both of these teams not having performances that we know of them. The lobby has had a few more teams come in that weren't in it. The meta has changed, the pacing has changed, and the pacing again was very much dictated by those hectic circles. But a team that I want to mention that we know can frag out, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them, is Sakura Sensen. And they started the day. They opened up for us. They brought us the first frags. And then circles, just being caught out on rotations really went against them. And although we did see some individual brilliance and some kill totals on the board, 17 kills, but they only got 5 placement points. Today, they need to bring the balance of fragging, that aggression, but for end game. And again, I put that down to the circles and shifts. RNG blesses some teams, and when he giveth, he taketh away from others. And
Yeah, 100%.
unfortunately, I think Sakura Sensen were on the receiving end of that wrath yesterday because they are monsters. I've seen them frag out as twos in stacked lobbies that you would never ever think that these boys could just let rip as a twosome. And I'm expecting this lobby to change around again because again, the points are so close, Mark.
Yeah, it is. At no point are we are talking a lot about the guys on the left hand side, but one game can really affect some of these teams and actually push them from a right side of the table to the left, but also from a left side of the table, qualifying position, out of qualifier position. Secure sense, you're right. They did start the game really, really well. They're the first team that we saw actually taking a fight with BFG, and they got BFG down to a 2. But we actually saw Toxic. They actually then got involved in. So are we seeing teams now understanding about how Secure play and really trying to close the door on them? One of the rounds they went out in 16th place, and I think it really shocked both of us to go. Actually, hold on,
Yeah,
we've
we
not seen
did.
that. We've not seen that at all. Like that's alarming. So is it teams are adapting to how they're playing? Are they not getting the right balance on kills and rotations? We don't know. But what we do know is that today can really make changes, and hopefully some of these teams that are not in the qualifying spot can come out and have a good game, but they've got to show us what they've got. They've got to be able to put the points on the board.
Yeah, and it's as show us what you've got. Show us how well you can adapt on the fly. And we've talked about it being chess with guns. It is all about the IQ as well as the mechanical skill. And those circles yesterday really put the mental to the test. And again, when you think you get yourself into a safe position or you've done a safe rotate, you come in slightly late, you're safe, but then the circle shifts away. So then you've got to run the gauntlet of 10 teams to get in. It's again testing the mental, testing the IGL in, but as well testing your resolve, because we talked about the momentum, but that goes both ways. It can dishearten you if you have some bad games in a row, especially. And I'm looking for these teams to have brushed themselves off overnight, had a little bit of a team chat, and come out swinging today. But they know there's only 5 games. So it's about balancing that swing with that resolve to get to end game. Because we saw Formulation Gaming, they got a 2-kill chicken dinner, but 10 points for sitting safe as a 4 and just getting that. That's a good foundation. It's a good building block. And if you can survive till end game, the kills will come to you.
More importantly, it's loaded, the passport's been checked, and we are going in. This is our technical round number 6, our first game this evening, map number 6. We've actually got a really good playing up half. Miramar starting up with a nice southwest or west up to a very, very high northeast. It is favouring a little bit more on the sort of north to northwest side of the map, but the zone could shift potentially down and touching. It will kind of breach sort of a Los Leones maybe. I think we might see a donut here, or maybe into a northwest corner for a zone.
I mean, I think the players are begging for a little bit of a donut after yesterday's antics. And, we talked about it being wild on Erangel, but the first circle on Miramar, well, 20% of it was out from the get-go, and it's going up towards Campo Militar. So the possibility of it going on the unplayable to the rock, like we had a phenomenal circle just below Campo Militar that I've seen once in my 5,000 hours of the game, not even adding on my casting experience. Once I've seen the circle, and we had that a couple of weeks ago, it was chaos. I'm hoping for the same
split, but look at this here. We came, we saw, we conquered, and Grimor, they're pushing north out of here, or this north to the northwest, and it looks like both these teams might be playing for some vehicles, but we do have them lurking very, very high. Martin looks like we came, we saw, we conquer. The call is to go back. They're retreating back, and they're going to let that sort of northwest corner go towards Grimor. All other teams are really split, and we see Secure Sensing takes long distance shots, and not a bad zone. It was one of our first zones that actually we haven't got an unplayable area to talk about.
Yeah, it's a relatively nice one, and as Gibson likes to point out with a circle around this area, it's got pretty much everything that Miramar has to offer. It's got the flat fields, it's got the canyons, it's got cities, it's got barns, it's got the ridges, the dips, it's got the high grounds, it's got a little bit of everything, which adds to the spice and adds to the interest in a circle like this. Yes, it's slap bang center. Yes, it's kind of comfortable, but there is a lot to take in with the terrain.
Yeah, terrain is key, and let's talk about terrain very quickly before this kicks off. And wow, what is Destin like? For everyone out there that has got it and updated it, it is insane. And that terrain alone it's even questioned my gameplay today, because I've had to rethink, because we're used to Orangor, used to the Miramar. Then the PUBG have just thrown a massive curveball in there, but absolutely love it. Great work though, PUBG, on actually releasing Destin.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun. It's a bit of a shake-up, and me and you talked about this yesterday. It's very different to what we've seen, and I like it. I like it's almost a different art style, but it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see if it's viable for ranked. I know a lot of people are going to shout at me for that. Please, I want some spice, ladies and gentlemen. I don't either.
Ranked on this
one. But it is visually stunning. I like 100%. That they're bringing in new features, which of course will bring in new players, in turn spawning the next generation potentially of competitive players, and bringing some more attention to this glorious esport that we have here. And it deserves it. I think PUBG is one of the pinnacles of esports. It's so interesting and so engaging, and no match is ever the same. No angle is ever the same, and I think that's what got me hooked. Whereas other games that I'm not going to mention, they're the same map, the same angles, the same way of pushing and playing, and it's very linear, and it's you see the same kills, the same angles, the same things time and time again. Whereas there are 64 players acting against random circles, random flight paths, having to fight different teams on different rotations in different places every single time, and where you run into someone, where you have a fight, will never be the same. Will never be the same. There will always be, yes, you might be in a building holding up, and four-man might push you, but it's going to be slightly different. And even though it's the same, it's so different. It never feels like the same, and that's why battle royales, and especially PUBG, had me hooked from the get-go.
Yeah, you're right. It's no two games are the same. Yes, a lot of the hours been put in will give us a great indication as to where zones are going to land. And I'm a firm believer if you can't play your cast. I enjoy playing. I was never the best, but I love casting because, as you rightly said, there are no real two games that are the same. We get an indication of where it's going to go, and the algorithm tells us because we played X amount of hours that it's going to end in a certain location, or we hedge a bet, but it's still a 50-50 chance. It's that bit of luck from PUBG and a bit of experience mixed together, and it produces some outstanding content from an esports point of view.
Oh, couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. And for all your thousands of hours, you might have seen a circle 3 or 4 times. One shift, one change to an algorithm, one tiny bit of hardcover, unplayable that wasn't in that you didn't notice, can change everything going into 5, 6, 7, 8. And it's so fun, and that's why I love it. But circle at hand, it's a little bit slower. We're 5 minutes on the clock. I'm not going to bait anything so far, but we're all here still. We're all here, and I think this is a kind of a record for this lobby. They're normally a little bit bloodthirsty as the first shots do come in, do start to posture and come on out. And well, Hawkeye, he's got the bolty on. He's only got a 3x on it, but it can do some damage. That thing is the M24 is my favorite bolt, and it sounds good. The muzzle velocity is why I prefer it over the Kar 98. It's slightly faster, and that's why I love it. I love the M24, and I'm hoping for a lot more bolty bangers tonight because we have had some insane shots over this weekend.
You love a bolty. I can never get used to them, but it is outstanding when these players hit them. The sound of them as well when they hit as well is great. Yeah, a lot of teams you mentioned, they are starting to find themselves into the zone. We're seeing a couple of long distance fighting, as we do kind of see with Miramov. But most teams are a little bit settled. We've got a Pink Pony and Sakura up on that sort of east-hand side. We're seeing we saw conquer the 3Vs, taking some long distance shots though across that road. But most teams, I feel like with this type of zone, will try and come into more of a donut position. So land up in a centralized compound. We are seeing some early fights though. These cars are just sort of deterring people away. FMGs want to note though, especially on the map, you can see with that 2-2 split the guys have got. That's a different type of game plan. A lot of the other teams are going for a nice and tight four-man up in a compound at the moment.
Yeah, and I think teams have learned that those 2-2 splits are very punishable, and with everyone consolidating into the middle of the circle because it looks like it's going to donut. It's very, very central. That center is so busy already, and if we looked at the edges, there was barely anyone for 200, 300 meters from the edges. Oh no, Tekkas is about to run into those ponies, and let's hope they've stabilized today, but he does have support up the hill. It does look like up on the box, ready to shoot, and the engagement has begun. Posturing shots coming out both sides. There's 2 of the ponies from outside the compound. They're coming back to lend a hand. Reinforcements are coming. Salty has spotted that. Murado charging on him forward, but there's a player just on the red. Great shot there from... Oh, yep, they're coming in as more bloodshed is being spilt. JR up on the rocks just to the south of Hacienda. We saw them move there pretty early and get the ground, but they can't be too smug about being there because I did see one of the other pink teams coming in. And Mark, what is it with the pink on purple warfare the last couple of days?
I love it, mate. Love it. Ace Crew, let's go. First point on the board. They are talking about they want to go. These guys got a slight lead on no tags. And it's a team we haven't really mentioned actually at the moment, no tags. You are sitting in purple. Sorry, not purple, no tags in the orange, but they've got that purple logo. They actually have done really, really well. They've consistently been up there, and they've deserved their point on the left. I want to see if they can hold and just try and work their way through. We know they don't like to get in early fights. They want to get in the middle to end range fights, but this one here is going to be an interesting battle between Sakura and Pink Pony. Tekkas had an outstanding game. Even shot some people who had DC'd and waited. He was a gentleman and waited for them to come back in before he confirmed them off. But he wasn't aware of Pink Pony, I don't think. You can tell from his body language when the gunfire started happening. He then kind of backed away from that initial push, understanding that he's a little bit out on a limb. But Pink Pony had tightened themselves up as a 4, and they want to now defend this compound. But it's a hard compound to defend.
Can I just say, talking about the defense, there is an horrible crossfire that the boys that were here originally for Pink Pony have got set up. One on the boxes, one in the red brick, and they've got a crossfire for the doors, and it is horrible. So if anyone does decide to push into that barn, to that open warehouse from Sakura, they are going to be punished quicker, and they are not going to know which direction it has come from. But, friends, what a game. What a last game they had yesterday. Nordskift was a monster. Absolutely insane performance. They're going to be looking to do much the same today, as they didn't really have the day that they wanted. That final game, though, did wonders for them.
Yeah, a double 360 spin into rock. Maybe that no Tony Hawk Pro Skater too. It was good play. He used every little bit of util. Oh, here we go. Another knock is Squirtle Gang now picking up not. Friends actually doing security. A good bit of backwards and forwards though. Kira on the receiving end. That's not what they want. Early doors. Nice kill confirmed. We are seeing really quick flushes at the moment. Oh, Pink Pony now picking up. Good Secura boys. They've actually gone back. There's one of the confirmed first. Friends get a steal. Kira actually then confirm off their knock. Friends and still another one. So Pink Pony not capitalising, unfortunately, on the knocks and hard work they put in.
Salty does get one onto his stains, though, as the rest of the Pink Ponies are coming up and over, and Salty is going to get another one, but he's going to get taken down by Sahar from range as friends come in and mop things up, potentially saving Pink Ponies there, because we know, again, what Sakura Sensen can do. But, Mark, we're going to have to say it again. Sakura Sensen go out in 16th.
I think we commentate cursed them. I'm going to apologise now for training and quality purposes. It's not our fault. But we do have an input of commentator curse. But hey, that's just not seeing it normal. I have to question, are teams now adapting to how they play? Because we've seen them run riot in lobbies.
Yeah, and I will say after this fight, that I've seen before, the nade doesn't quite come in, but TMG are going to get one of the 3Vs. Oh, Nordskiff, the hero from yesterday, gets taken down with a nade in his hand. Luckily, he does release it in time, that he doesn't take his own life. But 4 kills on the board for friends as they try and provide some overwatch from the hills aloft at Minas Generalis. But the Pink Ponies, they will be looking for this. But look on that. Look through that reticle. Sinya coming up and over as a shot goes his way and might just ward him back. But little does Sahar know that he's actually coming up to backstab the boys at Pink Pony, the ones that took his friend's life.
We saw we conquered. They just tapped out in 15th place as well, as we are starting to see the long to medium range fights start to roll themselves into more of a medium to close range, as these teams are still fighting for. It's still a good area, and 100% there is all to play for, all types of things to play for, depending on your game style. But we are seeing some teams actually take some risks now early and try and take crash compounds.
Indeed, we are. Things seem to have come to a little bit of a standstill for the time being, though. The circle has shifted, so we'll get a little look at the map in a minute and see what's going on with that. But looking at that on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see that we are going to be doing a giveaway. So if you want to enter, it's ! giveaway to enter yourself in. And how about 5 minutes, Mark? How about 5 minutes and then we call the first winner and give away some skins? Because, of course, we know that skins mean wins.
100%. Give me that cowboy hat all day long. That's what you want. Cowboy hat gives you extra 5 damage in any game. Not officially told by PUBG.
Trying not to make Sheriff... Trying not to make cowboy jokes for the rest of the game, especially where we are. But Circle has set it up. Everyone looks like they found a place to call home. And yes, there might be some poking and prodding, but this circle is big enough, has enough compounds, ridges, dips to house everyone peacefully. There will be ranged shots, but for the time being, everyone can coexist.
Grindmore got the word to do. So they're sitting on that northwest corner, so they're going to be aware that they're going to have to potentially take a shift off either now or later. And it looks like they're trying to take a bit of that field off that's in front of them. They have Tokyo, though. So can be very much aware. We've seen those guys exchanging shots backwards and forwards already. I think they just need to make a decision where they're going to play and what time do they want to play it. Because if they get caught on the outside, we might see a couple more teams trying to close the door and then BFG long distance shots into no tags. As junkyard
Ooh.
is not the best place to live.
Uh-oh, gets the knock there as the boys in tandem trying to finish that one off. So no tag. We talked about them having a good day, and they're sitting pretty high up on that leaderboard, second in fact, and they're not having a great start. I think there's only 3 of them left up on their feet. Nope, there's
Yeah, we've got
nope.
one up on the hill behind and
Yeah,
two
behind,
out to that
yeah.
sort of left-hand
Yeah.
side. So they look like they're going to try and play for the res. BFG though are slightly spread as they sort of take the long road across towards the hillside, towards Minus. There's another knock though, as he just patience is key. He was able to wait. The secondary person of no tag, so go for the res. There's any teamwork makes the dream work. It didn't work that time, and now we're seeing the door closed. BFG though really spread, but capitalizing on the angles, and we love that in Miramar.
That is crazy. Obviously knew that the player was going to try and get the res off and just lined up the edge of one of the rocks to try and get it. Oh, you don't want to go prone there. It's a little tippy toe being visible. No, it's not. O'Connor manages to evade that. Oh, 200 IQ play though to explode that gas tank, force him out. Could land the shots. Is going to land one, but with a slither of HP manages to get away. The bleed out has come through on both of the no tag players though, so their job is getting even harder, and it's falling very quickly. And talking about falling quickly, oh, Rafa is going to answer the call though onto Otto as he peeks around that corner with the barrel and then just delivers him a cheeky little nade.
Have that Otto, stick it on the head.
On the head, son.
Oh, they might. I don't think they'll be able to. That nade damage is not going to be. Oh, they are sticking the res as well. I think they've got to him just in time. They have. So Rafa's not been able to get himself around after the nade. He might go back for the door, but they're able to stick the res on. No tag. It's down to a 2. They are a little bit split here. Solo's pushing out the north side. You can see creeping in on that sort of map in that bottom right-hand corner. No tags will have to come off the fight here, as BFG have really tightened themselves up as a 3, really putting the save in and making sure that teamwork is key. This is the fight I've been waiting on to come over to, because it has been killing off in going backwards and forwards in the kill field on the right. Yeah, but Brymore have pushed their way and they made the decision to go towards Tokyo, but that Groza.
But did you see that kill total? 6 already. Oh, SK12 at Junkyard. Rafa holding the line and holding it well, as nothing can be done about this man, as he does get the double. No ironics there. He opens the door, opens the nade on up, and is about to try and go for the bank, but looks like he's got the heel on Rafa with that SK12 in hand, the pre-fire coming out, and it is all going against BFG now. He just gets a cheeky, another little one there. This is not what they thought was going to happen, and Rafa just absolutely showing up to save the day right now.
He's picking up a bit of util now because he wants to clear this off. He hasn't actually finished off the player behind, but I think he will do now, because they will be communicating that he's there. There we go. There's the next one down. So yeah, BFG actually has gone flip the other way from a very strong position. No tags are just holding the line, but they're holding it well. Zone shift has come away from these guys though, as we are in phase 4. And we've got 45 seconds on the clock before we start seeing descend. So both of these guys are going to have to think about how long did we want to take this fight on, and how quickly do we want to work our way back into the zone.
Exactly. It's all about that time prioritization. Do we stick around, or do we get in and play for those end game points? Because they've already lost team members, and chances are they're going to lose some more, especially with the utility dump blinding and just that SK12 waiting to be unleashed. Here's the pitter-patter of footsteps. Doesn't quite get it. No, fights it back, and that's that. No tag there. Eliminated. 12 teams down. 17 minutes on the clock. 3 kills in the back pocket for BFG, but it's not without losses. And we saw Solo. Well, they were interested. They wanted to get involved, and I'm sure they're not done with that fight yet either.
Oh, with the zone going towards minus and people want to play the unpushables, it's going to cause some issues here. Team's already sending their way in, as we see Ghetto Gang sitting in the middle, Squirtle Gang, V27. Southside is Formation Gaming, as they are just left on the edge to try and push in, with Solo also coming up on the top side.
Indeed,
only on the hill as well.
Oh my goodness, look at that mini-map. I love it, man. These unpushables, they are crazy to hold. And I think everyone's kind of had the same idea. We've got Formulation Gaming. They're just on the ridges over the other side. Yes, they are hugging the south side of the circle, but if anyone does decide to rotate in late, it's forced around from that west-hand side to wrap up late all the way around the south. It is going to be a nightmare. Great shots and great taps coming in, as Cran is going to get Shro down elsewhere, and that is going to be TMG after getting those big kills on the board early. They're already losing numbers as well. So this lobby is having casualties from every team, and it's going to be one of those end game. Oh no, caught sleeping, doesn't manage to get it though. TMG, they are eliminated, and it's those Toxic boys again. We've seen them clash quite a few times, and it's gone Toxic's way more times than not. Woohoo, Hawkey!
Great shot, ulti.
That M24 from earlier.
Yeah, the unpushable, he's going to get the knocks here, but he ain't going to get the finishes. That's the only problem. As FMG, while sitting on that south side, this is the ridge they're looking at. They've got to push up and over at some point, and it's going to be, unfortunately, into a wall. It is descending down on minus. We are going to see some great fighting. We've got Solo in this north east corner. Ace is a little bit lower than that, but Solo are laying the trap here. And I couldn't quite get it together yesterday, but they're putting it together already. 5 kills on the board, and they annihilate our leaders at the moment, Ace Crew.
They were corralled into a ravine that was very much 300-esque. You push them into the hot gates. They had people waiting above, and they just picked them apart. There was nothing Aces could do there. This is wild. We've only got 10 teams left, but I'm sure 5 of them are fighting down on the south, and the rest are up on the north. And it is just bedlam. Everyone can see one another, and the only ones that really kept their noses clean after getting a wipe is Toxic, but they have the work to do to get in the zone now. I'm really liking where the pink ponies are. They've gone up to the north side of Minas Generalis so they can have themselves some hard cover and possibly just pick off anyone coming in late. And there will be people coming in late because everyone on this north side, yes, they can try and get into zone, but they've got to contend with each other. And you don't want anyone in your back, especially when you're pushing into a high-rise compound with lots of line of sights like Minas. You want your back clear. You want to be able to focus forward. And all of these teams are going to prioritize that before thinking about cresting and coming through that little ravine between the 2 giant cliffs there.
I think Solo need to ensure they don't get anyone filling their top side. They want to make sure that we don't see Crown wrap their way in. They've got a good knock already on one. They've got the high ground. That might force Crown around to that west-hand side. That's what they want. They want the teams to push their way into minus. They hold the high ground. They hold the control. The only other team really to be thinking about, I know they're only a 2 now, but BFG, they've got to shift back towards them. It's actually done them a favour as they are holding the compound. And Formulation Gaming, they've also got that south side ridge, which is going to be good for them. But yeah, this is where we're going to see Solo got a knock on Crown. They might just want to push themselves in, keep the high ground. The danger though with the high ground is that if you get a knock and you haven't got players up there and a bike more than that, you won't be able to get back up there and get the resis.
Yeah, it's that double-edged sword that we talk about so often. And I think that's one of the beauties of PUBG. It's so powerful for so many things in one aspect, but there is a counter to everything. And, you know, that's what I love because it is all about that mental maths and that risk versus reward. And the high ground very much is, especially for a solo player up high. Yes, I can lay down the damage. Yes, I can give you intel, but if I get knocked, that's my team down to a 3 to a 2 end game, which could possibly be the difference between eating that chicken or going home outside the placement after the 10th game today.
Yeah, this is a horrible first game in zone. Like, it's never going to be an interesting one. But I feel like it might shift away again. It's going to cause some outstanding commentary because all of these teams here that have pushed themselves in for minus. Look at Toxic. Toxic had to come in here. They didn't really have any other option. They had their crown above and that formation damage behind. Good shots. Those Toxic now just trying to literally hold on to what they can in the corner zone.
I'm loving the fact that they've been ballsy enough to send it over, and all 4 of them up. They sent one over to get established in the building, apply pressure, and then the rest of them come over. It's brilliant work, team play. It's that stages. It's those thinking moves ahead. And they've got themselves into the circle now, and they've got that foundation that they can build on. They can start moving forward. And they will get the intel because at the moment, everyone is doing that posturing. They're trying to, you know, remain loud, not let anyone just creep and crawl onto their compound because there are so many little buildings like this, like that we're seeing here inside Minas, plus those unpushables. Everyone just wants to be proud and loud, so no one can just enter and catch them by surprise because there are so many angles. You have to have people watching everything. And we've seen people's teams, they are battered, they're bruised. There's very few 4-man teams left up here. And if your player's down, you can't watch every angle. It just doesn't work like that, Mark.
No, not at all. This little cheeky pink pony is actually getting a little freebie as it's dropped down, and that zone shift has come away from minus, or minus, if you say. I call it minus. It has pulled away, and it has again favoured BFG. So all these teams are going to have to work their way down. Toxic pushing themselves up, and they want to then come down on these teams. They've got to be careful. Solo going to be above. the Solo have the option to wrap around towards that sort of northeast corner, which looks like the guys are doing. They're going to take a bit of blue damage to do it. I think this is the right place. Solo going to be trying to put themselves in the top 4 position. But look at this. We haven't said this a lot. 10 teams up, 28 alive, and 23 and a half, nearly 24 on the clock. This is rare. We've got a lot of teams up, and it's going to start, unfortunately for these teams, it's going to get thinner out, and a lot of the teams that are maybe in the 5 position now will be able to capitalize on it. Here we go. Great shots coming through. Oh, surviving on 2s as well.
Yeah, so what you're saying as well, it's going to fall very quickly because look at the amount of teams that are just on the edge inside minutes. It can host a lot of teams, but when they've got to move, they've all got to move as Bitfix Gaming. They are eliminated by Solo. 8 kills. We talked about them needing a better day, and my word, they are showing up today. We know that they are monsters. They did manage to climb up a significant amount of places in the last couple of games yesterday, and they're keeping that momentum, Mark. Great shots coming in. Oh.
It was about the momentum, and we spoke about a couple of teams here. Solo did on the last 2 sets of games actually got pluses on the leaderboard, so it looks like they've not even had a break. They're just going straight into this one, and they want to put some more plus points on there to move up. Formation Gaming though trying to close the door, but look at Solo. Look how quickly they're moving in now. Look, hello, you're not taking the field, my friend. Formation Gaming though with 1 and 2 on the defense here. Oh, so now a third Hawkeye down to a last guy. Solo's push has just been stopped, and it's been a complete formulation stop.
Wow, that was insane. The pre-flash there, catching off guard. Snooski doing the damage, but it was actually the Bolt that managed to get the player of Senya just getting out of the vehicle. The anchor now of Solo up at jungle on the precipice of the circle. It's the only one left, and it's going to be Formulation cleaning those points up pretty much unhindered because everyone else has their attentions turned inward to Minas, and it is crazy. 1, 2, 3 teams corralled along those platforms at the top. You've then got 5, 6 on the edge. This is crazy. 7, should I say. Wow, this is wild.
Yeah, this is not a good zone for the team. Let's say that. With it pushing away, and remember, teams hadn't come in here because they wanted to come into this compound. A lot of teams had to. That was their only option. They were coming from this sort of west-hand side, and they were moving across to the east. And actually, the only bit in front of them to take was actually the mine itself. But Formulation Gaming were late for that. They had to hold on that ridge line, and it's actually favoured them now because they're the one team that's going to be trying to hold these teams out. And maybe we're going to see them pick up some more kills from a Scabs and harvesting these fields than we saw from them yesterday.
That cycle shifted back though, and it's the Squirtle gang that are going to be rewarded so heavily. All 4 up that center compound, and it is a monster of a compound as well. You can bully everyone here, but the circle is now creeping on in, and the teams up on that high ground, up on the elevated podiums. They are going to start to not only get bullied by each other with the blue against their back. Look at this. We've got the Squirtle boys coming in. We've got Formulation Gaming from all the way down south because they are starting to silhouette. They are starting to crest. They have to out of necessity, and it's not going to be a fun situation.
Yeah, oh God, Toxic I think pushed too far. I think they were, like my thought process there, he was going to go away from this and go into that field area. They actually committed very much over. Solo able to pick up a Scab, and great shots as Cran is just securing the underneath of those.
Oh my God. If he just opened up now. 1 Mollo. Oh, he cuts it off. He's going to sneak up and around, gets 1 down and cuts off any hope of them coming back into Avenging. Meanwhile, they are getting lit up from above. This is huge play. 1 of Kron are left, and Pink Pony Lorex comes out and down and around. Stratos does eliminate the last player of Solo, so they go out. We go down to our 7 teams, and placement points are here, but no one can rest easy or rest safe now because it is just chaos. Oh, that's another one. Bites the dust, Pink Pony, and I've got a feeling that Kran, they're not far off that chopping board either.
It's very much focused on them. They do have the 1 player that is anchoring points at the bottom side. Toxic then get eliminated. Oh, and we are gone quick. Toxic then Kran, and unfortunately we then drop a 6 and a 5th and instantly into our top 4. Ghetto Gang with a 4-man, Squirtle Gang with a 4-man, Formulation Gaming, they're sitting with 3, and Friends hasn't got any friends left. He's on his own.
Friendless, but he does have the high lines of sight in the unpushable, and he's got to hope they live up to their name with being alone. But the circle, it keeps him in again. Gosh. So fortunate, but he's going to be content with these 3 squads of 4-4-3 to be fighting each other, chipping away at each other. He's going to hope that he can let them focus on one another, go unattended, possibly sneak his way in, let them wipe each other, possibly let two teams wipe each other and then come in and collect a second place, or just steal and mop up a few points and kills. And he's done well. It's a shock that he was allowed to exist there, but again, they're called unpushables for a reason. And with this many teams residing in the lower portion of Minas Gerais, no one wanted to risk going up those stairs. No one wanted to risk coming down off that hill. And we saw that they died with their backs against the blue because there was no option, no which way could you get out of that. And it was just ultimately GG's any way you took that fight.
Actually, that one nade actually really deterred. Squirrel Gang were ready for these guys to push over. I actually was worried they pushed that smoke a bit too far. But actually, that one nade actually really turned Squirrel Gang round. And we're all seeing a little bit of a third party now as Ghetto Gang taking some shots and so friends. As Squirrel Gang just want the other teams to really team up and get FMG out. But they're not.
The big shots coming in. Frenchie gets bulky down, so the push is being stunted out, but resistance is there as they lay the shots in, trading damage with each other. And Friends, well, he's still up there, he's still up high, but he reveals himself on that catwalk and makes things that little bit more awkward because you don't have to worry about the foe in front of you with the ARs up in your face. You've also got to worry about the Overwatch fire as Strata capitalizes on that and takes down Gualateo. Oh, huge. I love these fights. It's chaos.
Yeah, it's going to continue to go backwards and forwards here, ladies and gentlemen, as we see lots of utility. We yell about it all the time. Utility's going to win it, and I think a lot of these teams will be burnt it. Formulation Gamers have to burn theirs to come over across. They're trying to use whatever they can now. Some good knocks. They're on 6 kills. It's a good game for them. I want to see these guys close it out, but they haven't. Have they got the numbers to do it? That's the question. Has gone to the dot, and we are phase number 9. We are going all the way this evening, as these guys and girls are going to have to tighten in and work their way through a horrible, horrible area for an end zone.
It is. It's a nightmare. And like I said, the level... Mossboard just jumps on out and April greets with 762. Sancho's going to get one onto the Squirtle. So it's a 2-for-1 special there for the Ghetto Gang, who now get themselves up to 4 kills with 4 players up. And they try and spot out Stratos there. Stratos with 5 kills to his name, being a monster. But it's now a 2v2v4, and it's Ghetto Gang holding the cards as they are pretty much closest to the center. They fanned out and they know where everyone is.
Yeah, they actually pushed in quite, if you was watching the map like I was, they pushed in quite early actually for this as well. They kind of knew that it was going to go to the dot. Once that zone moved, they've positioned themselves. Now, they've checked off behind, they've done the friends, they're now focused on the forward push. Turtle Gang actually trying to hold to make sure no one pushed in. Formation Gaming though, they're going nice and tight as a 2-man. They're trying to take this out as a duo now. But they've got a lot of work to do. Ghetto Gang have just got to hold the angles now. This is a different type of PUBG ending.
It is. We've seen some tense ones. We've seen some exhilarating ones. And this is one of the tense ones. Oh, as the angle gets dropped there. And so does Nookie down to his knees, followed up by the molly. The res might come out, though, because the other Squirtle Gang member is there. As utility, like you said, it wins games. I think utility is key should be the phrase that we're using, because it is the differentiator between winning and losing in every single game. And especially in one like this. Oh, the jump peak comes out. Does he have anything to send that way? Well, it stops the res enough. And the peak comes through. Oh, he gets one. Can he get the other? No, he can't. Frenchie goes down, and so do the Squirtle Gang as we go down to a 2v3. And this might be Formulation Gaming's chance to jump on this and take that power away.
Good move. Ghetto Gang still trying to keep the 4th one up. It is a 4-on-2, or technically a 3-on-2 now. As we see great angles. They're holding angles. They've got the numbers. They're holding the angles. They're not being too aggressive. They're pushing what they need to push at the right time. They're just holding the line really, really well. Or they don't have to try and make something happen as they go inside. They're going to be able to hear those footsteps.
They are indeed. I saw that. He's got that.
Everyone has got a job to do.
Woo!
Got a nade out.
Suski gets the nade and opens things up. Shotgun on shotgun action. Sancho comes round. The pre-fire is better from Blazer. Now it's all left up to Suski, and that is Stratos. And that is that winner chicken dinner. 8 kills from the Ghetto Gang, and they stayed pretty quiet all the way through that. They didn't have many kills, but like you said, they set themselves up before everyone else. They moved forward. They held the angles. They got that zone control. Mark, you spotted it so early. That chess, that forward thinking, 2 moves ahead. They did that. They set up, and we talked about the kills coming to you in game. Well, if you get the chicken and you end on 8 kills, that's a beautiful little total for game 1. And it just showed some really, really adult decision-making to forward plan and to clutch that game out.
I just really like that everyone had a job to do. In the Ghetto Gang, they knew, like, you're holding that angle, you've got that door, let's wait for the guys to come, we've pushed for the zone. Right, the other 2 anchors now push themselves up. Let's close the door. Formulation Gaming did maximize what they could out of Squirtle Gang there, and try and like leapfrog off that fighting. But they got a couple of knocks down, just down to one man, and couldn't close the door, unfortunately. But Squirtle Gang first game, they put a statement on yesterday. They've put a statement on today. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can secure their spot going through to the finals.
Indeed, but we're going to take a break. We're going to get the next lobby up, ready and rocking, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
All clear on the roof. Heading back down.
Roger. Hurry up. We need to move.
Just make sure I don't take a bullet in the back.
Looking good. Keep it steady.
I hear footsteps. I got a bad feeling.
Enemy spotted. Move! Move!
You're going up next time.
There won't be a next time.
Oi, Amelia, what's the deal then?
2 up top, 2 downstairs.
All right, so we just go prancing in the front door as per usual then, huh?
Not today, hermano. We must be like ghosts. Trust me, these will do the trick. The fog of war. Remove all visibility. We take them out one by one. They won't know what hit them.
Oi, who's that behind you? Look, here's what we do. Surprise attack. We go in big chicken dinner style through the window, guns blazing.
You mean like in Miramar?
Oh, shit.
Enough. First, we smoke out the first floor. But we'll need a distraction. Something super loud and obnoxious.
Right, I see where this is going.
Don't worry, Aziz. I got your back.
Winner, winner.
So, where to next?
Welcome back, ladies and gents. I am joined by the one, the only Elite Esports EU, aka Marky Boy, and we are back with Ground Zero, game number 1. Well, we talked about it being more gentlemanly, and that circle was a bit of a weird one, and then we saw everyone kind of congregate, and it ignited. It ignited because everyone was in such close contention that something had to give, and when it did, well, it fell even. So, map-wise scoreboard, Mark, why don't you take us through that one?
Yeah, it's a good game from Ghetto Gang there, taking a 18-point dub as well. 8 kills on the board, really good control for them. Formulation Gaming, they'll be happy with that one. They had a good game on the first one with 12 points on the board, 6 killed. Solo, though, another good start. We spoke about all 3 of these teams having to have a good start to today and build on the momentum. Friends in 4th, Crown, though, picked up 5th place. Squirtle Gang are in 6th. Tokyo, they had a good early start, but couldn't get themselves through as they were eventually controlled out by the Toxic guys. But it was a good start. No rank points, no placement points for them. But they put 6 points on the board. That's still a good showing. Toxic, though, coming up in 8th. And as you see on the right-hand side of the table, I feel like some people put a couple of kills on the board. Will be a bit disappointed they didn't make placement point because a lot of teams were left really, really long in this one. They had to go down to the wire.
It did, and it was a blessing. It was a bit of a surprise to go down to the start after, that phase 9. But yeah, few teams getting kills on the board, getting caught on those rotations. And the Minas one, yes, it's not the rarest of circles, but it's not too common. We typically see it pull a little bit away down towards the no wheels or over towards jungle. So it can catch teams off guard. And especially when you've got that many teams in such close contention, there's not a lot of options or places to really go. So it does force for a bit of a chaotic end game where you are going to pick up 1 or 2 kills, even if you don't get into those placement points. So we are now going to go and have a look at some more stats. I love the stats here. Ground Zero, Playtonia, you've outdone yourself with this.
Yeah, I love the old days, guys. Overall scores on the doors, though. So Ace is still holding up, but look at that. Ghetto Gang have jumped their way up. Same as Solo and Toxic being battered down slightly there. No tags, though, picking up 5th and BFG. Bifix Gaming, they're still holding on with 6. Crown had a good game, but got close a little bit on Circle. So they're now pushing 7th. And Friends still holding on in that 8th position. Not too much of a change. A couple of teams, I feel like they've dropped down a couple of places. I'll be really interested to see. Smash it in chat. Let us know. Hit those team emojis up. Who you think is going to be qualifying? Because there's a couple of teams on that right-hand side I would have thought would have been in the qualifying spot. But we've got 4 maps still to play for.
We do have 4 maps to play for, and that's right. Spam in chat. Let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know who you're supporting. But yeah, it was a little bit, not too much of a mix-up. I think Friends actually ejected someone from the top 8, so they've got themselves up after those banger 2 end games yesterday and putting some points on the board. But yeah, it's not too much has changed, but enough to like you said, Ghetto Gang slapping down a statement. They did the same yesterday in game number 1, and mirroring game number 1. Formulation Gaming actually got exactly the same amount of points as what they did in game number 1 yesterday as well. So
it's all to play for. That is the key thing. With Formulation Gaming, they've gone up. Friends have gone up as well. Squirtle Gang, the team that got ejected. Solo, they've gone up for a +2 as well. And obviously, as we just seen, with Ghetto Gang with a massive lift up there, it's still to play for. One game can change the outcome and put teams between getting to the finals and not getting to the finals and tapping themselves out now. So I just want to see the next Miramar. Load the map.
So talking about one good game could change it around. I mean, we've just about seen 20-point games, right? VVV, they are on 12 points. Friends, who are in 8th, are on 33. That's 21 points. That is one banger of a game to get themselves in, right? And we've seen it. And we've seen some of these teams have 0-point games. A lot of these teams have 0-point games. It is possible. There are still 4 maps left. The pressure is mounting, though. And, I said this yesterday. There's only 10 games. I think it's going to affect the pace.
Yeah, we're going to see.
How is it going to affect the pace?
Yeah.
Because, again, it's that balance of, do we play for endgame? Do we get those placement points? Or do we go fragging? Because we've got a lot of work to do. And judging by this lobby, I think it is going to be the second option because it's just been action today. Not so much from the get-go. But when it erupts, and this lobby it falls so quickly. I talk about domino effect. This is on a whole nother level.
So yeah, we've seen a lot of teams tab out in big chunks, not just individually like dominoes. They are in chunks. So that domino effect is just literally like someone swiping the whole table or half of a table of a lobby out at the moment. What I really like though, when again exclamation mark leaderboard in chat, you'll be able to see the stats that we're looking at and we can talk about. But the main thing for me is that the kills are not being a run away so much with certain teams. It's actually a really nice split amongst the kills. We're not seeing teams run away with all the winner chicken dinners. We're seeing that again spread across the lobby. So it's making it for a very, very tight semi-finals, which is what we want as viewerships, is what we want as casters. Maybe not what the players want because they want to be securing themselves in that sort of top 8 spot. But it is that literal effect. It is quiet. We have massive bursts of action, and then suddenly it just settles down. Then before someone just smashes the table, and everyone is just in agony. And it literally goes down to this sort of domino effect that you say, where we just see team after team, but some really good pockets of play. We saw like Pink Pony coming up underneath Cran and throwing that molly, stopping the teams coming back. It forced Cran to go at the top side, and they got tapped out by Zone. So really good pockets of play. Lots of teams tabbing out. I think not as late as obviously they really wanted to. But let's have a go as we go into map number 7 on day number 2, and I'll let you go through the flight path.
So the flight path from just below 9 o'clock to just above 3. I wouldn't quite call it an 8 till 2, but it's very central and it's a bit more friendly. And again, I'm sure the players are hoping for these more friendly circles. Again, we did see in that last game, the pace was very, very different. But pacing is something that I really like in this lobby because it's 0 to 11 and then it just chills. And it was chill at the start. And then, like you said, those big chunks of teams just falling. You said swiping it away. It's like someone's like the kid playing Monopoly that's not got their own way and they just chuck the whole Monopoly board off the table. That seems to be what's happening. And funnily enough, it is the Monopoly on those prime positions, those prime real estate locations that are winning the games. Well, I say that, but Ghetto Gang's micro play in that one, setting up, getting ready for endgame while everyone else was still posturing, still watching the angles. Like you said, everyone had a job. They moved up. They were a unit. The chemistry was on point. The comms were on point. The placement was on point. And it was fantastic to see.
Ghetto Gang was the Monopoly bank because they were the ones rolling out those hotels nice and early. And yeah, they pitched up. But I said again, I'll repeat it because I just think it's outstanding. It was so clear to us that everybody had a job to do. Everyone was like, right, you've got the doorway, you hold the angle on this building, you hold the angle on the left side, you got the right hand side, you got the anchor, and it just their synergy as a team was just outstanding in those last couple of zones coming in.
It's being able to quiet the mind and think in the chaos whilst everyone's on edge, everyone's got their heads on a swivel, checking those angles, checking for that jump peak. These guys, they were just calm, which is terrifying. Everyone else holding angles, a little bit too afraid to move. And these guys said, right, this is what needs to happen. This is what's going to happen. We're going to set up here. And they took the bull by the horns. And showing that kind of composure in a tiny, tiny, encaged couple of buildings with smoke everywhere, like that end circle, is terrifying. That you can think that precisely, that calmly, and that concisely to plan out an end game. It shows real mental fortitude. And if this circle donuts and it goes to the crater fields, we're going to be looking at, yes, a very different location, but a very similar enclosed kind of area being the end point of the game. And Mark, I'm a little bit sick. I love the crater fields endings. The ridges, the hills, the open plains, the long shots, the long battles from edge to edge. I love it. But it is a nightmare if you turn up slightly too early or slightly too late. And talking about being a little bit early, well, it does look like one of the 3V boys, they've gone on holiday a little bit too early in that mobile home, and 2 of the friends, they've consolidated. They hear the engine of that V8 Murado roaring on up as they park that one up and now start to surge forward to possibly, it's 3 members to take one of the 3Vs out, bringing them actually down to 3Vs.
Yeah, you're right in that zone. Craterfield, I think, is going to be a key IGL decision here. I think people are going to be looking at that as the end zone. And it offers a little bit of a different end game for us that we saw from the last one. A lot more higher ground to play, and we will see a lot more long distance SLRs and minis. They're all going to really come into play now, I feel, in this round. But it's about time. We saw it in Orango last round because we saw that Everest play this is kind of the same. We see some teams actually coming up a bit too late. We see some teams going early. And we also are going to have to see some kind of like wild plays that if they're a bit too late, I've seen some outstanding moves by teams where they've had to make a kill-ditched attempt to kind of get into Craterfield. They've somehow survived their way through multiple teams and actually get themselves to the end zone. That has kind of paid off. V27 though, pulling up here. Oh, not a little bit late, and the buggy has not paid off. It was V27 take the cover of the Jeep, and they get one, but they get two. Nice quick kills and confirm. Great comms from the player that actually picked up the no-tag side behind.
Push is coming in, and it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade here between friends. The insta flush does come out. Illidan is down low for friends. Is now they are mounting a little bit of a comeback, but no, it does look like Nord, the solo hero from yesterday. He's going to take the bull by the horns and rip them out as quality peeks on over the ridge and gets absolutely decapitated by that 3x M4. Does another peek, cheeky as you like, but he's going to get caught on the third repeat, and now it's all falling apart for VVV, and they need a good day because they're currently sitting in last. Oh, shots.
Good initial shots, down to 2, down to 1 now. He's got nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Friends are going to put up the sofa and wait for him to come out of this one. Able to stick a med on, but no car, nowhere to move. He only got one place to go, and that's forward. Oh, he actually missed the first shot. He actually gets the second shot. Great connections, put him down to 1, but the pressure just doesn't relieve here.
Ooh. Illidan is going to get that one down with the tippy tap of the S. Oh no, he finishes out. Oh, and Dragon Monster actually collects that head with that K9. As now the drive-by coming in. He's just got a little barrel to, a little hay bale, should I say, to play as he's trying to lay those bolt shots out. Probably going for the clip here. A little ticket damage from Sahar there, as he is going to buy time, and Illidan's going to get him down. That SKS was the thing that took the life, but VVV, they fought friends. When they lost their first friend, I think VVV probably should have disengaged there because the fight was not on their terms. They did not have the info, and friends, they lived up to their name because they reconsolidated very, very quickly and picked them apart.
Yeah, I think they overcommitted. They had that one guy in, and it sounds really horrible, this statement, but sometimes when you've got, oh my god, I've been crashed, I've got 4 people on me, maybe actually going into the end zones with a 3-man is the better option. But what we saw, they sent another man in. It was 1, then it was 2, and it was 1 at a time that we saw the friends guys just knock down 3v, 1 at a time. But let's not take it away. That last shot's outstanding. Oh, these shots,
no.
Oh, he's done himself on the vehicle, put him down to a 1 shot.
I mean, easy cleanup.
Nice easy kill for them.
That's so gutted. Trying to just steer out the way of it and just take your own life by hitting a pillar. Those concrete pillars, they're pretty hard. They will do that to you.
Don't save lives, mate. One thing I will say, one of the major differences that I noticed when moving across from console to PC, and yes, I have sold my console now. It is gone. I'm never going back. No, joke. If they ever do me to go back, I will go back. I will find a way. But one thing I will notice is that teams in PC are not scared to rotate through towns. Whereas we see with console is that you'd never see a team do that. They would rather take the longer road around to go nowhere near a compound. As you see a complete different game style when it comes down to rotation.
Yeah, and you know, it's the same game, and I've noticed the same because I've done some PUBG mobile stuff as well. It's the same game, but it's worlds apart, and it is interesting to look at the differences in the metas and stuff. But that circle, it's getting busy, and we see the high ground already being taken up by Ace's crew. We've already seen Minas being taken. There's a big scuffle up on the edge of La Cabrera, both on the west side, and it looks like we've got teams solo coming in from the east. They're going to take the warehouse just on the edge. We're seeing the high-rise buildings, the ridges and dips, the small shanty towns being taken already, and this circle is looking pretty damn busy.
Everyone's going to donut themselves up now. People just taking some little looks. They are on the top side. They are looking to just try and figure out where the teams are. But this is what we spoke about. It's the high ground here. So these teams will be looking at this going, actually, do you know what? It's a bit of a medium to long range battle. We've got to be lucky if we get a kill. But one thing Ace has done really well yesterday is that when they got a knock, they really dominated on actually getting 4 guns on that knock and trying to flush out as quick as they can. This type of zone is going to favour that sort of gameplay.
It is indeed. It's you know, it's a particular style, and it's a particular meta that only certain teams and players can carry off. Acting on a knock, not only having the lines of sight, but having that awareness that we've got a knock, we've got 2 anchors just say off to a ridge on the west, and we've got 2 players right next to the car. The anchors can hold, they can watch for the res, potentially get another one down, and they can also hold the push if anyone decides to peek the windows. And that aggressive style, again, another double-edged sword. It works so well because you can catch teams sleeping and they don't expect it, but also it can pick you apart very, very quickly. And Aces, they're trying to gain a little bit of ground. They do have the high ridges, but they are receiving shots from the Kran clan. And they've been exchanging from ridge to ridge, and that's quite a big old distance here. And I'm for it. I love watching players land these shots, especially with the quick peaks and jiggles involved as well. It shows fantastic game knowledge to be able to land those shots consistently without dialing in your reticle, but also the mechanical ability to land those shots to dip, dodge, dive behind the ridges and come up and land those shots without even dialing in that reticle. I love it.
Oh, mate, you just saw some good players as well. So, yeah, Kran, long-distance shots going through. Aces trying to get their player back. They're trying to hold the anchor. Trying to ensure he actually got some amazing tags on that anchor point, pushing away. And you saw him instantly flip down to the other player from Ace Crew that was trying to get in. Just unable to connect the shots. And lovely to see Ace get installed as a 4-man, taking some high ground. The zone has shifted with phase number 2. And it looks like we're seeing teams now getting in the vehicles and trying to go for a rotation as they're trying to center themselves up. I think we're going to see some more teams again. Oh, this horrible Techers. Great on shooting. SDU drive there is out there. Look at that. 180 flip, little 360 spin, and still going. Salty down to a 2. As we see Toxic being toxic players and taking long distance shots as they are holding the low ground at the moment.
Ooh, cheeky little 360 coming up there from Salty as he crosses back to his vehicle, just trying to evade the lines of sight of Laos there. It does look like more of the Toxic boys, they're coming, they're consolidating to get different angles, and this is not good for Sakura. Again, they're split, and they're potentially about to be punished for it because look at that mini-map. They're sweeping around, they're getting the north side of that compound. They've still got that anchor up on the hill, but the cavalry looks like it is arriving. But is it enough, and do they have the numbers to take this fight, and can they change their fortunes around? Well, Toxic, they've said they've been consistent as anything, and it is not a fight that Sakura won with the particular luck they've been having. Oh, no.
Can he get it? Oh, he's down to a 1, but he's run out on the clip with the M4. I think he'd be disappointed with that.
Absolutely will. Of course, this is the 4th player from Toxic as well, so he's got Aces right below him, which means that he can't really aid in the fight on the crash of Sakura.
Now, Aces know he's up there, but they need a bite to go get him. Okay, so they're going to have to stick close to this one. I really like what Toxic have done because you see this split now on the map. They're trying to lay a trap as teams come in the middle. That if one side, I see a sort of southeast side take a shot at it, our guys in our sort of northwest corner are going to be able to take the angles away from them. The Ace Crew now putting themselves up against this mountain. I feel once the guys have stopped fighting Sakura, they'll be able to see Ace nice and clear.
Yeah, they will. Massively. And we're seeing, once again, it's very busy. There's a lot of poking, there's a lot of prodding, there's a lot of long distance fight. Not too much up in your face. Michael's trying to get forward, trying to dispatch up that high player. He does land a shot, but he is eating damage in return here. But Michael is a monster with the DMR, but when you've only got a little palm tree to hide behind, it's not going to go all your way. First knock does come out in the engagement between Toxic and Sakura, and it is going to go in the favor of Toxic. It's looking like a 3-on-4 as everyone else seems to have reconsolidated. Utility going in, just breaking down those lines of sight, trying to open things up for everyone on Toxic as they are looking to divide and conquer. They've got one down on the left-hand side of the road. They're looking to get second. Meanwhile, up high, the 4th Toxic player. He's about to be naded. The utility's coming up and over. No damage is done there. Follows it up with a molly.
This is hard to get up there unless you've got the vehicle to really jump up there quick. The downside to Toxic is that if he gets knocked, he's gone. Like, he's definitely gone. B27 now taking shots as we are seeing Ace Crew, who are very much focused on that solo Toxic player, getting tabbed in the size though. But Ace are now answering the call as they do get a knock on Tokyo.
Tokyo, they've had the fight with Toxic and Sakura, and they come just over the ridge, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend, as Aces do lend a little bit of a hope on hand, as Solo, well, they're going to open up onto no tag again. Pink Pony's trying to get in and steal some of those points. Solo look like they've got fights on all their hands as Senya gets physics down from BFG.
Nice kill confirmed from them again. We saw Pink Pony nearly get a steal away from one of their knocks, but Solo are building on the momentum. Can they do what they need to do in 2 days? Can they do it in 1 day? And we are seeing the answers being yes at the moment. Nice zone shift. It has kind of donated up.
Once again, I'm looking at Formulation Gaming. They've got 2-2 split, and they're set up very, very nicely here. Pink Ponies on one of my favorite compounds on Miramar, the glass building aloft the hill. Absolute battering coming in from Ace's Bronco, though, as they're trying to disengage and get away from the Overwatch of Julian up high from Toxic. He might be able to get lines of sight and pluck one of them out here, but they are sending it down and possibly identified that Formulation Gaming are in a 2-2 split, but looks like they're reconsolidating, so this might be a huge fight in just a second.
And with these shots coming in, they can't stop. I think Aces might want it to stop there on that flatbed and not push the compound. But with Toxic taking those shots, actually, I think forced Aces down to a position they didn't want. And that's not what you want as V27 pick up that individual from with Toxic. And that is going to be a nice quick kill. Stolen from Crash.
Ooh, interesting. They did get jammed down, so Ace's migration was not for free. Stratos with that mini in hand, just looking over. Aces did manage to get into one of the shanty towns. It is pretty much the eye of the storm as well in the center. As Formulation Gaming, they have, like I said, reconsolidated up. We're now seeing these little shanty towns. They are tiny little buildings with a couple of doors and a couple of windows, but if you can get all 4 of your players or 3 of your players into one side, the 3 or 4 buildings, you are looking good, especially if it's that center zone, because there are so many eyes now on the high rises and on the other shanties that have eyes onto it. You're going to have Overwatch and cover from everyone that's trying to get a cheeky knock. Oh, Michael Bay directs this one as it goes up in flames in the Squirtle gang. Well, they're not having a good time of it today, and that is going to be a quick pickup and another point in the back pocket. And it looks like they're going to crush on to Formulation Gaming.
Remember, from after round 1 to round 2, Squirtle Gang have just tabbed themselves out the qualifying spots. So they need a good game, and getting tabbed like that on rotation is never good for team morale. They've managed to find a compound, though, and it is not bad. I think they will get a few phases maybe out of this one, as they will try and lay low. Pink Pony are sitting at a wonderful spot with that 2-2 split. I actually really like that corner between those compounds, as they're able to control anyone coming in from that sort of southeast corner.
Absolutely. Just 2 players left from the Squirtle gang, and let's not count out Noki. We saw what he did yesterday as an individual on this very same map. He got so many points for them. Probably part of the reason that they were sitting up in those qualification spots is we are going to get another loss of the lobby, and that's going to be known tag. 14 teams left, 50 players, 16 minutes. We're breaking records today.
Yeah, we're keeping players alive. No commentator cares going through, but it is going to be quite a technical ending. The zone's going to shift away. We see Ghetto Gang are playing in the bottom. We've got Security Center, and we've got Toxic all tied up on this sort of west-hand side. We've got some high ground that's being held by multiple teams, and that zone shift again is pushing more and more east. So these teams where we thought it was going to come down, maybe for the crash plane landing, it's now going back as Pink Pony have tied themselves into a nice tight compound, and it is prime real estate. As you mentioned, great 360 views from there. Squirtle Gang will be happy. They should be able to survive. They need to make sure they don't get any crashes coming through. We're going to see some maybe a desperate attempts now as teams got to get themselves in.
Oh, big spray coming in from JR there to get one onto Wade, as they are crashing in on that bridge, trying to get into zone. The drive-by coming in, but that is going to be them out in the blink of an eye. And look at that. It is going to be Purdy Jr. and Mossbod linking up. But the friends, they might have got a kill out of that, but they are now getting swept by BFG on that southern side of the circle.
Yeah, they're in a good spot. They've got to hold it, though. But these teams have got to push in. This is what I'm saying. We're going to see some more ditched attempts, I feel, where teams are going to have to try and get them way in. It's that loss of zone. It's what can you control and what can't you control. And it's getting to the point of the game now where sometimes you can't control what information you know or where people are. And we saw Tokyo clearly not understanding their teams there and just having to try and get in after getting deflected by the friends on the hill.
Indeed.
Get a gang rotating away.
Toxic still dueling with Sakura here, and I'm surprised that they've been allowed to take this fight for this long without anyone peeking over that ridge, and now they're going to be forced to take the fight and get involved. As Mossboard actually takes down Intense, so giving a little bit of a helping hand there. Great flash coming up and over as the parry scrambles away. Oh, he's still blind as a bat as he dips up and around, and no, meets at the door. Knock, knock, who's there? It's Leos with an M4.
Talk about
Tekkers
moving all the way around in the vehicle, complete 180 on the team, having the guys now, and then Toxic have gone down to a one-man with that massive play from Tekkers.
Ghetto Gang cresting the ridge. You can see them just off in the distance, but he's got to hold the line as they coming on down to get involved. They want some points on the board. Hyman is going to confirm things out, but get traded out immediately by Blazer as Ghetto Gang make their appearance in this fight. This southern side of the zone is absolute bedlam. And look, Grindmore, they're getting themselves posted up so that they can just lick up the scraps here.
They want that flat bit where I think Aces want to stop, and that is such a good play from Grindmore. They, as you said, they just want to get, they're going to farm some kills here.
They have. They've leapfrogged. They put themselves in a position not only to get themselves into the next zone and get themselves set up, but to potentially get a massive amount of frags here. Anyone that exposes themselves, anyone that wins this fight, they've got to go through Grindmore, and that is going to be that for top tip players. One nade is going to sign seal, deliver that as well. Oh, look at this. They start getting in. Sakura, they're eliminated, but the work is not done for Ghetto Gang, and Sancho is going to go down. 11 teams on the board. And I'm not sure if anyone's going to make it out of that fight, especially with Grindmore now watching. Oh, just licking their lips at this.
Look at them. They are waiting. That is a outstanding play. Let's not forget where Grindmore came from to rotate all the way up and round and then over to this flatbed. The only danger they've got is V27, who's sitting at that sort of top side of your screen now. They will maybe divert off of looking at the compounds and maybe focus a little bit on Grindmore. But even as a 4-man, they could push 2, really hold up V27 now. 2 just try and control Ghetto Gang as they're down in 1 man. They're going to get themselves into zone. The zone shift has gone forward as Pink Pony might get a pass here. As we go to the Grand Nationals, will Pink Pony be able to get themselves into the final?
Yeah, that compound's so good. I'm looking at the west-hand side of the circle, and it is brutal. We talked about Grindmore's move. The circle has not favoured them, and neither has it favoured the 3Vs as they are on the outside looking in. Everyone else pretty much with a foothold in. And it's going to be brutal for them to come on down. Friends now applying the pressure as well as V27. They are feeling it. And Grindmore, well, they're thinking about putting on another rotate, and they've been good. They've seized opportunities here, and they've made it work. Blazer still just trying to out-heal on the edge of the zone, waiting for them to get bored of watching for him, but he's going to run out of heals sooner or later, and I think that day's about to come. And Cran, well, they're going to be eliminated before that, and that is going to be solo. And look, Noki from Squirtle Gang, he's still alive, still kicking, still getting points on the board.
Yeah, holding that compound store in as well. So they just hold on as a 2-man there, Squirtle Gang. Solo pushed in a little bit on that north side. Pink Pony, as you mentioned, they're on some prime real estate and holding. Grindmore, got to do a big rotation here. Ace, lucky taking this compound. They, again, got to make sure no one else gets into their B27. I think they've only got one way to go down. That's going to be a crash.
I think you may be right there, as they now got to cross the lines of sight, and Aces are ready and waiting. I think BFG are going to be on the south side as well with that ridge, ready to clean them up if they choose to go around enough. Big shots coming in. Looks like the car's going to explode if they have to bail on out. The car does explode, and Michael's going to be credited with that knock. And now we can see the traces coming in from BFG. And, oh, it's Friends, actually, sorry. And they are just cleaning up. 2 of them managed to get up and in the face, but Prime ready, the nade up and over, and it is going to be Friends that clean up all of those points, bringing themselves to 11 kills already. 9 teams left, as that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And look at the kill feed now. It erupts.
Do you know what? Big shout here. I was watching him as that rotation because Grindmore was going down. And do you know what? V27 done the right thing. They pushed at exactly the same time. Those guns really follow those cars around. They capitalised on trying to push down. They got some knocks. They just was unable. The anchor player at the end couldn't get the last couple and get controlled out. V27 been tabbed out also. Friends, I love this bit of zone. I just love this in these end zones. That I prefer open area. I always have done. This is such a good play. They should be able to keep looking backwards and forwards. But let's not forget, Ghetto Gang are still up. He's still surviving. He's still working his way in. He's still healing. He is able to get himself from out of the point pot on placement now into the point pot.
Yeah, he's into placement somehow as Friends, they turn their attention from one side of that southern end of the circle to the other and say, we saw BFG smoking with their Bronco against the rock, and now they're receiving fire from the ponies as they've come out, and it is going to be Otto that loses his life first, and that's going to be at the hands of the ponies. Can Blazor get into zone here? Can he keep himself quiet? Can he keep his nose out of it? And just kind of be the James Bond, come in a little bit unsuspecting without drawing attention and get himself some more points? Because if he's managed to do that, I think it's possible.
Oh, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it just takes one of the ace crew just to double check back at him and go, oh, there's someone out in the open there. And he ain't got any cover where he is.
Cycle has shifted again, and Ace's crew, they're still in formulation game, and they're still in. The ponies are still in, but everyone else, well, it's not a fun one. With where these 3 teams in the compounds are, they have lines of sight on everything. And I mean everything. You crest this hill where we just talked about friends playing, which we love. Pink ponies.
Pink Pony have the prime real estate. You called it very early on. You said about this real estate here, and it actually is going to favour them. It's going to give them maybe the boost that they need to get a gang. Has eventually been picked up. And do you know what? Big shout. You made placement point. You wasn't in it, but you got there.
I think BFG are about to fall. It's going to be a little tap there. Ironic has managed to get himself snug and near to the zone, but I don't think he can go a lot further. And that carport is the only form of safe haven, but going to get a little bit of a helping hand there from those pink ponies. And oh, look, Crash coming out onto Pink Pony's compound, and Solo, they've just sent it. They realize that that is the gold mine, and that is where this circle needs to end. Not all of the players are committed. They've gone to the ridge to trying to block those lines of sight, leave an anchor, and get them to come and greet them at the doors, potentially pulling them out into the lines of sight of more players and more teams.
For those obviously who are not aware with the anchor point is a player that sits behind in a compound, and when you see a crash like this, naturally the Pink Pony team is going to come out and crest that ridge to try and deal with the players that are really close to them. But it's up to that anchor player to take their heads off and ensure that those players stay alive.
Indeed. Great explanation again. You know, there's a lot of intimate details of PUBG, especially if you're just coming in. A lot of things that you'll hear, and if you want to hear or understand anything, just let us know. We'll be happy to do so. Explain it. As Pink Pony's now sending a battering down to the way of friends. 13 kills on the board, so they've got nothing to scoff at, but they still have a threat at their door, and it is a threat. Solo have been monstrous. They have been consistent, and they can go nuclear, even with 3 players. But the Pink Ponies, they're quite content to just lap up these points as they have to filter on in down to the zone, and it's not looking good here for friends. Zayladan goes down once again.
It's unfortunate for them is the zone shift we talk about, and it's not going to favour. They haven't got very much cover, and because this 360 view from this compound and its store in on phase 7, Pink Ponies don't need to move. Yes, they have got Solo knocking on the door, maybe even got a foot in their door, unwelcome guest, so to speak, that you can't get rid of. Solo have to also understand that teams might be backfilling them, and we're seeing it. They're having to commit fully in, as we've seen Formation Gaming now pushing in from a 2-2 split. 2 anchor point. Ace is just trying to hold out as they still hold the edge of the zone. Friends have got the high area, and it is going to be a little bit of a bloodbath now.
Yeah, this is wild. 1 team upstairs, 1 team downstairs, and oh, look, a player in the adjacent building just holding an angle, waiting for any kind of cross. We got teams up on the ridge. It does look like Aces. They've been proactive. They've moved up, and they're getting behind the 2 remaining friends, and that might be a nasty little trap. But again, Aces, they still can't move out fully because the 2 anchors from Formulation Gaming, well, they're holding back, and they will see them as soon as they move and apply that pressure. Formulation Gaming being proactive as well, moving 2 members up. So good play on all sides, understanding the circle, understanding that work needs to be done, and doing just that. Senya just launching nades up, but he's got that Grows in hand. He's a monster, and giving him a Grows is the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, and they all got shotguns out, both Pink Pony and Solo, so they all go in. They know what they want to do, and it's going to be a bloodbath. We're going to see a lot of you two now come out. We're going to see try and work in and try and get the players out. They want to try and get a knock first, but then we'll see all the flashes coming through, and then it's going to be a bit of a push in, try and get as much cover as they can, as they now need to go dig out the Pink Ponies from their stables.
They do, and the Pink Ponies, they're ready and waiting. Shotguns at the ready. Oh, it's going to be one going down, or trade after trade, but it looks like Solo are losing this one out. Double barrel shotgun comes around, and I think there's just 1 little pony downstairs, and outside, he was in the next building, and that might start a lot of moves here. Archie tippy-toeing his way up, holding the stairs. The rest of his team in tatters as he moves on up. It is getting crazy. He's going to swing it. Listening for the reses, he doesn't know where they are. He finds one sleeping though, and that's going to be Pride going down. The players from Solo in the shack. Oh, that's a massive volley there. Just pre-fires and actually gets it. No way. Couldn't ADS, but still gets it. Formulation Gaming though launched that molly to take down to a sliver of HP, but now they got to worry about friends in the back, and it is that domino effect once again. Hawkeye goes down. Stratos is going to be bled out, and now Atomico and Snitsky they have all the work to do. And Aces, they've got 3 up, and they've not got involved just yet.
You see, we wrote, well, you and me wrote off friends because they were out of the zone. They were able to get the res and survive, and that timing that they just come in and literally trying to backfill. And wow, Pink Pony, Archie, literally on fire, running to the toilet to go put himself out, finds 2 of the players in there and just tabs them out.
Oh!
Great knock. Archie gets 1. There's another point of the board for him.
Yeah, gets his eyes onto another spray,
9
comes out,
kills.
does a big tick of damage, but he's got to worry about the threat down below him. Looks like we're going down to our top 3. It's a 2v1 as it stands, as Snooski does get JR down. So I think it's only Michael left at this point, and it's going to be a risky res if at all possible. And Archie has Michael's number, but he does still have to worry about formulation.
Formulation game do have the numbers. They are sitting with 3. Ace now technically with a 2, but 1 not. So be a bit of a push for him to go for the res. Pink Pony wanted to burn the utility and ensure that he could try and deal with the players outside of his compound first before he works his way on that one. But there's that confirm. It will be a 3, 1, and a 1. Pink Pony holding topside. Formulation Gaming giving up that push because you know it's a dangerous push. Archie's now free on that compound. They're positioning themselves not for the fight, but for the end zone.
Absolutely, our 2 kills in their back pocket. And again, it's just consistency. It's playing for those placements. And we saw them set up pretty much instantaneously. Michael with that MK on follow-up was going to find Hawkeye, so trying to even up the numbers, but that big low flank from Snooski might catch Michael sleeping here. He also has to worry about Archie. It looks like he's vacating his premises where the ponies have resided. Michael now starting to expend utility, but trying to push an MK, it's not fun, and it's not something that you want to do. But now in the open, Snooski does hear the footsteps as he transitions to the tree. The shots come in, and that's going to be it. It's Atomical takes down Michael, just bringing us to a 3v1, and it looks like a lovely clean sweep here from Formulation Gaming. They got themselves center. They set themselves up. They've been proactive, and my, oh my, they've worked for this, even though they've not been rewarded with the biggest kill count.
Unlike Ghetto Gang, who tabbed themselves out, I don't think we're going to see Pink Pony go down because I think they want to try and get as many kills as they can, or give themselves a chance to get as many kills as they can. I have seen 3-on-1s, 4-on-1s go to that solo player if the players just send it one at a time. Formulation Gaming need to figure out where he is first. Archie's done the right thing. He's put himself in a great position, right in the middle, in an unexpected position. The only downside is Formulation Gaming actually do have to send a spot behind them, so they don't need to overcommit. It's going to fall to them before it is going to fall to Pink Pony.
It is, and it's just going to show like, oh, they are going hunting. They're dipping over, but his location is now being revealed. Molly comes up and over, and Snooski and Atomical hunting side by side as a pack. Oh, the Molly's perfect, and so is the follow-up. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. 14 points on the board for Formulation Gaming. They had a great game number 1. They've had an even better game number 2. And is this a comeback?
Are they the only team so far to have 2 chicken dinners on the board?
They are. They are indeed. And that was something you touched on that actually earlier, saying, you know, we've had different winners every time, and Formulation Gaming, they break that trend and potentially about to break the trend of the lobby as they are hunting points. And that is a great way to break it up, steal the momentum, and put it firmly back in your favor with back-to-back great games.
They were 12th place. They put themselves in 10th place. They've got another win. Let's see how many points they then increased in this one. The table is tight, guys and girls. So we're going to see these guys building the momentum to go in towards the sort of the qualifiers, making sure they get in that top 8 spot. What I worry about, and I don't take anything away from Formulation Gaming, we saw yesterday they had a great start, but it just pitted down the whole way for the 5 games. I don't want to see these guys to sort of sit in their laurels now. I want to see that sort of momentum continue to basically grabbing that golden ticket to the finals this weekend.
And the golden ticket is what they're all in the hunt for. Those top 8 spots are the ones that are going to be rewarded with that ticket. But there is one more ticket to Miramar as we go into our 3rd game and the last one of the Sandy Shores. We're going to take a break. We're going to get the lobby up and running, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
All clear on the roof. Heading back down.
Roger. Hurry up. We need to move.
Just make sure I don't take a bullet in the back.
Looking good. Keep it steady.
I hear footsteps. I got a bad feeling.
Enemy spotted. Move! Move!
You're going up next time.
There won't be a next time.
Oi, Amelia, what's the deal then?
2 up top, 2 downstairs.
All right, so we just go prancing in the front door as per usual then, huh?
Not today, hermano. We must be like ghosts. Trust me, these will do the trick. The fog of war. Remove all visibility. We take them out one by one. They won't know what hit them.
Oi, who's that behind you? Look, here's what we do. Surprise attack. We go in big chicken dinner style through the window, guns blazing.
You mean like in Miramar?
Oh, shit. Enough. First, we smoke out the first floor. But we'll need a distraction. Something super loud and obnoxious.
Right, I see where this is going.
Don't worry, Aziz. I got your back.
Vamos!
Winner, winner.
So, where to next?
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Ground Zero by Playtonia and Mates. It's me, Crot Stuff. To my, I'm going to say right, is that handsome, long-haired stallion of a man, Mark, aka Elite Esports EU. And, well, we're about to go into the exact halfway point, but that game, a lot to break down, a very interesting end game, some heroics, once again, individual brilliance, chef kiss to Archie. And, yeah, it really changed up the leaderboard, but another great game for formulation.
Yeah, they're building momentum, which is good to see. Ace is still sitting in top spots, right? But formulation they got +2, and then let's see how many pluses they get on this round here. It's good if they can keep that consistency up. It's that golden ticket we're talking about. It's what they want to do. I'm a bit disappointed. There are some other teams that had some great momentum yesterday, but they haven't carried it on to this evening. They've got to get it in because we are at game number 3 coming up.
Yeah, we are indeed. But before we go into game number 3, we're going to go and have a look at the stats from the previous game. So, Mark, take us through this leaderboard for the last game.
Yeah, so map-wise scoreboard for our last game, game 2 this evening. Look at that, friends though, massive kill points, 14 on the board. They did not want to be going, hey guys, we're just sitting in that 8th and 9th spot. We want to secure ourselves, and that alone is going to be good. Getting close to some double-digit games, really. 18.7 for them. Pink Pony, though, much better game for them. 9 on the board, 6 ranked points, gives them a total of 15 coming in for that game. Formulation Gaming, we already spoke about them. Nice consistency, 14 on the board for them. Solo are in 4th. Ace Crew now in 5th. Ghetto Gang are in 6th. Secura Zen, better game from them. No placement points, but they've actually got a couple of points on the board and Crown in 8th. One thing I will note, though, we are seeing more teams with no points than we saw from the first round and a couple of rounds yesterday. With We Came, We Saw, We Conquered, No Tags and Tokyo all clutching up with 0 points.
Yeah, they had a little bit of an interesting game, kind of got bullied into spots where they couldn't really defend themselves, and there's rotations, being isolated and stuff like that. But yeah, friends, what a fragging total they had. They were absolutely relentless in that game, and they've jumped themselves up that overall leaderboard. I think we can go to some more stats, if not the overall leaderboard itself. Which one is this? Yes. Yeah, so Ace's Crew, they still reside in first with 72 points. Solo with 58 in second, but Ghetto Gang, they get into that third spot on 53. Friends jumped themselves up significantly. They were in 8th before that last game. They're but 2 points off that podium, third spot. Toxic Players, again, consistent as anything, 47, but this is where it starts to get really interesting, Mark.
Do you know why? Because look at that, Formulation Gaming's in 8 spots. They got another +2 off that one. So they started it today on 12th spot. They're now in the 8th spot, and it is just about chipping away. Let's not take anything away from Friends, though, because that is a huge jump for them. And again, one game can change things. It can change it for the positive. It can also change it for the negative. I want to see Friends trying to hold on to this one.
Yeah, and I'm also looking at just how close it is. 6th, 44, 7th, 44, 8th, 43, 9th, 42. It's all on the precipice. It's all so close. And talking about those golden tickets, it's going to be a skirmish for that last ticket by the looks of it. But we've got 1 minute before we get into that plane. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another little giveaway for some of those cowboy skins that you've seen on some of the break skins. So if you want to enter, it is exclamation point giveaway. Put that in chat. And I say, when we get our first kill of the next lobby, Mark, should we get that one away?
Let's do it. Well, I thought you were going to put a kill on a team then. I thought you were just going to go actually a little bit spicy for them. But yeah, let's do the first kill. So you got your time now. Get yourself on the chat. Exclamation mark giveaway. And don't forget, if you're just lurking, it won't count. So you've got to make sure you're in. Hit your emojis. Let us know what team you want. But more importantly, exclamation mark giveaway. We have quite a bit more to give away during these rounds. So stay tuned. But first kill, you've called it. We're going to be putting this one out to the wire. And we've always had some great winners already. And we actually had some players actually asked for a reroll, which was good.
Yeah, and so one of the other casters, they actually won it yesterday, but re-rolled it. Big shout out to Saga, the good guy Saga, but Plane Path coming in from about 12 o'clock down to about 6, but very western in where it resides with a little bit of an eastern skew at the bottom. So it's kind of central, but kind of not. And I like these west-hand side circles.
Yeah, because you got Death Valley in that bottom southwest corner. That's why. What I really like, though, look at this overlay. Well done, Playtonia and HGG for Ground Zero. This is just a massive indication about how tight that middle table is on the points. We absolutely love it. Playing path is about halfway. Most of the teams are out with a little bit of split. Looks like Formation Gaming or San Martin. Crown will go over the top of them. I feel most teams will be split, and we won't see any initial battlegrounds, but looks like we've got Pink Ponies and Ghetto Gang. They are close on El Pozo. Pink Ponies should, I believe, just take a little bit further off as we are in with Ghetto Gang, landing themselves down on an outstanding city to be able to get some loot from.
Yeah, I love this city, and on those Pink Ponies still parachuting well with the barrel in hand, and Sancho being on fire. He might be about to deliver that first kill for the giveaway. He's landing one, as it is going to be dropped for those hard sponsors vehicles to try and come on in. Massive there, not going to quite get anything else, but just letting the Pink Ponies know that they're not to be trifled with. More damage come in there, I did see, as the M16 gets tippy tapped, but no kills. Oh my goodness, it's a southwest zone, and I'm kind of sorry about that.
You love this bit because we call it Death Valley because of how high and the mountains are compared to the roads. It becomes a horrible killing zone. Now, there's two sections of this killing zone. When we see team-on-team action really high, it's great. We see this sort of medium, long-range battle. But when those two teams get that gentleman agreement and they focus on the cars rotating down below, it's going to be a bit horrible. Let alone, let's swing in that we have Prison Island also win with the surrounding of water. I feel like 16 teams with 64 players, we might have one, maybe two, but even at 14 teams, we're going to see a lot of people not commit over to that island, and it's going to be a little bit tight on these sort of valleys.
Yeah, the valleys, we will see a lot of teams go up there. It's those lines of sight and being able to punish rotations. Anyone that's desperate enough to go through what we call Death Valley, well, you know it's pretty dire because you have to send it. Yes, you're going to send it down the road for maximum speed, knowing that all of those high-rise ridge compounds and lines of sight are already taken. And you can be punished for it, but also you can get away because everyone wants that high real estate. They might be fighting between one another, and you might actually get a free rotate down and in. It's an interesting circle. It can give us some very crazy and interesting final circles, and I'm all for it.
This is about rotation speeds. Who can get in the car, pick up the loot they need, and move? Because you don't want to be the bottom of Death Valley. You want to get a prime position, and some teams are going to be closer to that than others. But it's about speed now. You've got to get your gear, you've got to get in your car, you've got to get your hard spawner, you've got to start rotating quickly.
Couldn't agree with you more. That efficiency, you know, I've talked about it before. There's one player in particular that it's normally 3 minutes 50, 3 minutes 30, and Big Wooly is in the car and rotating. It's regimented, it's disciplined, and it's efficient because they get themselves rotating ahead of everyone else. They don't get caught up in the fray. And 9 times out of 10, if the circle's pretty much close enough to them and they've rotated on that 3 minute 30, 3 minute 50 mark, they get themselves such prime positions and they reap the rewards from it. I love watching these, watching the habits and micro plays from certain players and certain teams really makes my day because there are so many conflicting styles. There's no right way, there's no wrong way to play PUBG, but seeing different little quirks and different things that players have as a habit is so interesting to me.
This is what I want to see now because it's the rotation we're talking about, but it's also those choke points. We've only got a couple, and look at that rotation. We have got Pink Pony, BFG, and Ghetto Gang all coming down that very far west road. B27 have taken the middle road, and they've actually put themselves at the end where I fear a lot of these teams on the sort of western side are going to try and push themselves into. Squirtle Gang, nice and quick out of Chum. They've put themselves on another one of the Death Valleys, so again, another bit of prime real estate's gone. And not to take away, everyone now is going to have to come in. Look at that sort of southwest corner. We have and we have Solo, and we have what, more than half the lobby even looking like they're going to rotate. It's going to be hectic. We are going to see quite a few rotation kills now as we see Ghetto Gang already lining those shots up, and Otto's just trying to dodge, duck and dive. The comms coming for Otto. He's the second player going for BFG, so the guys behind also know they need to get through. I think we're going to see a couple of roadblocks for some teams.
Yeah, setting up rotation camps is very viable, especially knowing that there was at least 2 teams that landed above you to the north, and there are some very good points to spring those traps here, and I think that's exactly what Ghetto Gang have chosen to do. Still 64 players in the lobby, though, for the time being, but the shots are coming out. We can see those traces on the minimap, and we can see that crossroad. Our first player goes down, and it's going to be April from Gao Gang. A little bit of revenge there from Shro. Is it going to be the first kill? Are we going to get to that giveaway?
It's going to be tight. There it is. It is. Let's go. Giveaway. Go in, chat.
Let's get that one going. And that's going to be Olsen. So send me a DM. You have won yourself some skins, and we will get those over to you. Special thanks to Playtonia for letting us reward the community for being so supportive and being in here with us tonight. Intense is going to get one onto the Squirtle Gang as well. So Sakura Sensen, they look like they're playing on their hips back to back, which, you know, I think that might be what they need to do. We've seen so far they've been punished for being a little bit split. And I think Sakura, when they hunt as a wolf pack, when they hunt together, that's when they are the most deadly.
Yeah, it's been surprising so far in the semi-finals. Like, you'd automatically go, they're a shoo-in, they're definitely being there. And the same, I'm going to say the same with Grindmore. If Grindmore would have put in their position, actually, they would have been a shoo-in for top 8 quite easily. So I fear that teams are starting to learn how their play style is and what they do and how they rotate, and they might be answering the call. Nice kill confirmed though, as Pink Pony do get BFG, so we're seeing a little bit of a bottleneck on that far western zone. Look at this, Squirtle Gang is crawling away as best as he can, as quickly as he can. Squirtle power. Oh, and he's taking a tumble.
Oh,
that kill was still confirmed though.
It was indeed. And that's going to be the first one on the board for Sakura, hoping for a better game and hoping to get themselves off that right-hand side of the leaderboard, which we are not used to seeing them on at all.
Yeah, they've got to have a good game here. Leaderboard-wise, they're doing okay. They're doing well. They just need to ensure they don't keep dropping down. They're sitting 12th at the moment. They've had, unfortunately, back-to-back games where they haven't gone down points, but other teams around them have increased, but teams not overtaking them as well. So they just need to get back to what they do best, and that's farming kills.
It is indeed. And talking about kills, I just realised we give that giveaway away when we saw the kill. The stream is delayed by 5 minutes. We didn't give a code away last game. I'm going to watch the actual feed, and when that one catches up, I'm going to give another one away.
Or we count 10 more kills down.
I think we go with it because people are entering, and it is getting busy in this giveaway. Remember, you have to ! Giveaway to get involved, and it is worth it. They are some quality skins, and it's a big old package to watch just for watching your favorite teams frag out against one another.
There you go. The best one to put it on. As soon as you see it in stream that Squirtle Gang took a jump, a leap of faith, we'll take a leap of faith and hit that giveaway again. That would be the good point note as the time the guys are putting the giveaway in chat. He's flying in.
Big shots coming out from Grimo, not quite connecting. We did see some absolutely insane plucks off of bikes yesterday with the Mini, and I'm all for it. Extains with that M24, just trying to land one onto the rotating TMG. Pink Ponies, they are still up. They're still kicking, and, well, they're looking like bucking Broncos as they have got 3 kills on the board for themselves already.
It's good early kills. Pink Pony were the top of the qualifiers, semi-finals. Has the pressure got to them? Hopefully not. They are looking like they're doing what they need to do, as I said, in 2 days, in 1 day at the moment. They've got a good rotation here. Don't forget, they did jump over the top of Ghetto Gang. They did take a hard spawn. They put themselves in a good spot.
Yeah, so, you know, we've seen over a lot of qualifiers that some teams relish and revel in the pressure as they manage to have a bad day number 1 and then just come back and absolutely clutch out day number 2. Are Pink Ponies one of those teams? Are they, you know, the best of the day teams, as that circle has revealed itself, and it is getting very busy along the Death Valleys. Still teams trying to rotate in, and it looks like it's, well, it's going to be a cluster. When this one reveals itself, people are set up, and if it hard shifts any which way, this could be another lobby like yesterday, Mark.
Look at the, as we just saw on the map feed there, see how clear it is on that east-hand side. Those teams that are coming in late are actually getting a slight pass because people are starting to real centre up. We've seen a very huge flip on the other side, though, with the west-hand side being a massive bottleneck for teams, and seeing some deployments of traps, so sort of roadblocks where we see Ghetto Gang trying to pick up some kills. Toko, obviously, on the receiving end. We see Pink Pony trying to pick up some kills and rotations as well. So it is going hard. But look at Ace here. Michael with potentially backflip, no backflip coming in, unfortunately, as he tries to send through. This is what we're talking about. This is the Death Valley. Look at this angle. The left and right hand side of the screen. We can have teams either side there.
Oh, there are knocks coming through, and it looked like one of the members of Ace is actually crashed onto no tag. I haven't seen a knock come through just yet, as it is going to be back up to V27. They have one player down, but no, it is known now as Purdy is going to get down at Sheila there. They are looking around for the rest of the teammates, but it looks like no tag. They're just going to dip on out, get away from dodge, and just let Aces have this cornerstone just above the bridge.
He's a little bit baffled that he thought it was a trick. No, you have one to give away, mate. Drop over a DM, and GG's. Well done, mate.
Olsen, good. We love a little bit of Olsen from coming over from Tilia League, Norwegian League, and love to see the support coming over. And thank you very much. And yes, you have one. No bait this time. Grindmore are going to lose one to Friends, and they're looking to continue their momentum as they got one of the highest kill totals of the qualifiers so far.
This is a different type of different style we're seeing on this far east side. It's a lot more spread out. There's a lot more rooms. Still, we're seeing a lot more long distance battles compared to the hectic a little bit. Oh my God! Formation game. We've got a crash here with 3v. Oh, just straight through the banisters. And they drops down. 3v's gonna have to back away from the game. But on the other side, Hawkeye jumps in to get involved.
Player there does manage to get the heal off, but Hawkeye does a bit more chip damage. Shots now coming in from range, and it is the covering team of V22. Stratos does manage to get one of the 3Vs down. Now the utility coming on in, just trying to block any path and trying to make things a little bit difficult, especially with those smokes. Oh, peeks around and finds Hawkeye, but there are two more players to contend with, and now he's got stabbed in the back from the Cran boys as well. Come chasing, urging forward. He's not going to get it, and James is just down, and that is that. But now the utility Stratos is burning on fire, and he might actually go down to this.
Oh, mate, this is a mental, and this is why I love Miramar. Third party central. Not even third party of a crash, but just I don't need to get involved in that, but let me just have a little pop at those guys. Maybe I'll get a knock, and let's see if we can pick up some additional kills. Or even better, let someone else do the work.
That molly is going to confirm out Hawkeye as they had to jump on off the res as two players nearly got caught, and it is going to be Stratos going down as well. So that molly is getting a special 2-for-1. This Flash does come in, trying to buy a little bit of time and stop the push. As now even more utility raining in, just trying to hold the angles, trying to be as elusive and as annoying as possible, and see if he can use the utility that he's been given to get another kill. And he's going to get taken out. That is VVV. They are out in 16th place. We lose our first team, and Formulation Gaming 3 kills on the board, but they've lost the team member. Now they have to stabilize, and that's going to hurt their chances of getting the hat trick of brilliant games on Miramar today.
They're up 3. Miramar, you can get away with the numbers. I will disagree to be a good caster. I'm back in Formulation Gaming in this one. They're in a good spot as long as the zone pulls back towards them, and I'm looking at the zone because we've got that little bit of water in it. It might shift back up, but it could go to that western side, which could put a spanner in the works. As a 3, I think they might be able to get away with it. I'm a bit worried about the cars and minus run. But hey, one thing I want to note though, the 3Vs, we came, we saw, we conquered. Benny Vishy actually got some points on the board this time with a 2 kills on the back of GG's crash.
Yeah, they have had it a bit rough, so it's good to see them getting points on. And yeah, I like that, Mark. I like getting the alternative perspectives and things that could happen, and that is, you know, variety is the spice of life, and seeing things from multiple angles, that's exactly what these teams need to do. And yeah, there is no wrong call in PUBG. There are different calls. As long as you make a call and don't rest on your laurels. Being proactive, we've seen how effective just being proactive, just moving, just taking the ball by the horns. We've seen how fruitful that can be already in these last 2 days. So I love that you challenged me on that, because no call is a bad call. No. But you brought up a different perspective. Challenge was the wrong word, but that's what I love about this game. There are so many outlooks on it, and it is so good.
Have got a great momentum on the guy. I don't want to give him that curse. I want to keep that momentum going. But I will caveat what I said. I definitely feel that it's going to be based on this next zone. It's phase 3, then to 4. If the zone pulls across to the west, it's going to be very hard for them, as we've already seen teams struggling coming in from the east. And we saw it yesterday with big sort of zone shifts on that sort of on the Miramar, that it exposes a lot more teams a bit quicker. Techers baiting out a little lid there.
I think it's time that we roll again. We give away some more skins.
Let's go.
Let's go. No, Nightbot has not won that, unfortunately.
Nice.
We roll again. We go again. A lot of damage is the winner there. So that means that you need to send me a DM and I will get you over your code.
GG's. Nightbot trying to steal it from you. Don't take that, mate. Get yourself in stream elements. Good movement. We see Grindmore now pushing away across that field. We see Friends, though, they've got a lot of work to do. They had a great boost up on the leaderboard. A huge amount of kills with 14 points right from that last one. A lot of that did come from kills. They're going to want to try and capitalise, but the zone is not favouring them as it pulls further away. We've got 18 seconds before the zone hits, and we're going to see a little bit of a shift. And what I'm really excited about at the moment, we're seeing a little bit of different teams take different styles here. Obviously, said they jump. Oh, we might get stabbed. Oh, great shots here from Solo. Not getting Hitman down. He's putting him onto half. Friends, though, actually stopping him now, trying to get them knocked out. We're seeing a lot more teams having a wider split and go for 2-2s. We're seeing some people actually having to stick into the valley themselves because it's already been taken. But the key thing is, how do they close this one out? We've got 15 teams alive, and we also have, more importantly, 46 players up with only, say, 17 on the clock.
We do. Shots just coming in as aces. They took that, that crossroads, and they're being rewarded with it. Still in, but they are in the low ground. Probably not as many lines of sight as they want, but they are slap bang in the center, and that they will be happy with. But I'm looking at that eastern side, especially in the north. We've got 3 teams up high. We've got 3 teams down low. Everyone else kind of is in. It is going to be a nightmare on that east side.
The guys, commentators curse because that zone shifted to the west, and Formulation Gaming got the work to do. They've just received a knock, though, as Ghetto Gang have won, and it's going to be a hard push now for them to get out. I feel like you could be right. It could not be good for them coming into the final game of Miramar. Great rotation shots, though, as Shakira is now taking Friends down, so we've seen a lot of teams now. There's 1-2 confirms off them. Friends having to stop. They've actually got one back. We've seen a little bit of a 2-2 fight. But Solo at the top there, about to unleash madness, and they have.
Stopping Friends in their truck before they could get that momentum that they had in the last game rolling. And Ghetto Gang, they're looking to continue theirs, as I can see that there's been a little bit of a skirmish here. Snooski just sitting up in the long building. Ghetto Gang as a twosome trying to come up crest and get in the face. I think it is only Snooski left now at this point, but the zone is going to force the agenda and force this fight. There's no getting around it, and blood is going to be spilt on this hilltop.
Yeah, this is going to be hard. It is going to be very, very, very hard for the guys now, because we've got to remember they've not got to just deal with a fight that's in front of them, but more importantly, they've got to be able to deal with getting into zone as well. And look at this, Cran just holding. They've got the ability to hold. They're going to hope people are going to come sending that one out. Ghetto Gang have just lost one to zone.
Yeah, and that was coming in from shots from, I'm not quite sure it was one of the pink or purple teams, as always, laying into shots, and then the blue does take the life, as it looks like it is going to be a disengage, and still Snooski's biding his time, but Cran, they're moving forward, they're being proactive, and they're moving down into that hotbed of area that I talked about, and it's going to be Solo and Sakura Zenson on this edge, and it is about to get crazy.
Oh, Ace coming alive as they can do some good tabs long distance. But yeah, you're right. These teams are pushing themselves down into this corner now, but it's going to be a hectic. Oh, there we go. So Ghetto Gang has been eliminated. Formation Gaming are still holding on, but it is the zone that's going to do him, and I think that is done. And Formation Gaming taking 13th place. I was wrong. As always, fast start.
It's what we're here for. Big shots coming out, and it is just opening up on this west side. Teams and players dropping like flies. Solo holding on. Sakura Sensen, though, under a lot of pressure. Grindmore go out, and that's going to be at the hands of Ivor from BFG. Hugh, though, has to worry about multiple angles. Sakura Sensen get eliminated. And just like that, Mark, that domino effect once again from 14 to 10 in but seconds.
That was quick as well, and a lot of that was zone damage as well. A lot of that was zone damage, and look at that shift again. The zone has hectically gone into a northwest corner, but we have a lot of teams left. Spurtle Gang, Brand, Solo, and Toxic all trying to hold out this bottom side here. Pink Pony holding the hillside as they have V27 trying to come up behind them. They've got them on top of the hill. They're going to have to gallop their way up. They've dealt with the knock player, so communication won't be coming through. It might allow Pink Pony to gallop themselves a little bit more get a bit of splits. There's another knock coming through. Is the last of the V27 boy is now coming up and over. He's got one.
Got one, but still got more of the ponies to deal with. Great two-piece there from Staines. Can he deal the final decisive blow? We also see Shro from TMG's coming up, and he's just taking the compound behind, so he might actually have a determining factor in this, but no, he's on the low ground. He's just got to hope and pray that he isn't spotted for the time being, and he can actually clutch up some points, and it looks like it is going to come his way. He's getting into that compound as everyone is trying to reset here. Archie going down, taking the low ground as he drops his player out of the lines of sight, not allowing for that easy crest to come over, but more blood is being shed as it's going to be Toxic, and it looks like they've crashed onto Aces. The molly is good, and that is going to be Jam going down to Jacko, who's been at the top of that leaderboard for so long. Julian is going to get his teammate down, though, and what can Aces do here? It's one player left with a sliver of HP for Toxic, but it looks like Michael, he's just up the hill. He's not going to be involved in this fight.
Too far away, and that's no fault of his own. He was trying to put a position where the guys could play into. He was just unlucky where Toxic had to play themselves in on zone with that ownership in that northwest corner. They've had to get in, and it unfortunately is resulted in a crash in that corner compound. Don't forget, Ace has been here a while. They took a huge gap, a ditch attempt to get to this compound with that first couple initial zone shifts, and now they're trying to play into the final zones.
Trying to play on in, and it's going to be an arduous task, and the nade is picture perfect from Raph there as he gets rid of Michael. Jam is going to get one from the grave, though, as Leos does bleed out, but Toxic are going to try and reset here, but are they going to be allowed to do so? Because everyone's just seen that kill feed, and everyone wants that little compound and wants their backs clear. Meanwhile, the fight on the ridges is still raging on, and somehow V27, they've managed to disengage. The ponies have managed to get back up to a 4, and Shro's still living his best life.
But remember, every second that passes now, every kill that goes down, every placement that gets given away to someone else is a point potentially teams cannot get on the board, and it is the second day of the semi-finals is all to play for. Massive look at that zone shift. It's going to pop now. We see Solo and Squirtle going hurt, and they're eliminated. Solo hold on, and it just shifts up again north. So not donutting up once, it has done a full 360 rotation with the zones. And it is now on north side.
And that hill still being very prominent in, which is going to be a bit hard for players to come up and crest over. The ponies more hunting as a pack, but that shotgun, it gets one, it gets two. Can he get a third? He gets a third! No way! Just showing how good they are. Oh, just going to clean that up. 5 kills for Shro. We saw brilliance yesterday from Wet, and now his teammate says, all right, I saw what you did yesterday. I want a little bit of that action.
I love that Archie just making sure there's no one lurking behind those boxes. I've seen players play out that boxes and get into final placements. Good check off, a good knowledge from there. But yeah, let's not take anything from Shro. We saw outstanding play yesterday from Tokyo. We are seeing it again today.
Bitfix 5 kills on the board for them as they're now looking to oppress and stop Solo from getting the free rotate in. They're in that Bronco doing their best as the zone shift has not favoured them whatsoever. It's a blind send, and if it's not BFG, it's going to be the jaws of Toxic that are waiting for them.
Yeah, he's going to be very careful. He's just double checking on that ridge, make sure there's no anchor play, that anchor point person, as he wants to crest over the top and now focus himself down. Solo had to take that ditch attempt though, but even as a 2-man, it can be dangerous. Good news for them is they've got nothing really behind them. They've got to focus now on the fight, and it's going to be a call of what fight do they want to focus on. Do they want to push for that northeast corner, or do they want to push for that southeast corner?
Toxic, they're going to get eyes on and clean things up in a millisecond. They're not done yet. So shots go in, and Ivor eats a little chunk of 5-5-6, but backs on off and thinks about reconsolidating with his team as Toxics now have to move their way in. 2 players left from no tag, 2 kills on the board, and they're just surveying that edge. Somehow, some way, V27, they still got a player up, and no one knows that he's there.
Well, your pony actually went to go check him off, but remember he played back into that single garage, and they actually opted to go back for the reses at that time. Now, he didn't come back out and go for that fight, and he wrapped himself up and sort of dodge, duck, and dive through the little nooks and crannies that we see on top of this mountain, not having obviously filled in where ponies were, and ponies obviously losing that 3 to their outstanding play to Tokyo. It's gone a little bit merry-go-round there at the top.
It is, and it's very easy to miss someone, especially if they don't want to be seen. Meanwhile, Toxic starting their ascent up the hill, and it looks like they're going to be greeted by Ivor, who's now cresting on the top of the hill, playing the king of the castle, but they need to be wary of their left-hand side, that west-hand side, and the pitter-patter of footsteps from Toxic here might start the engagement between V27 and No Tag. And I think we're at that matchstick moment. That one spark is all it's going to take to ignite this lobby once again.
Well, God, how many sparks we have in a game? It keeps like we're seeing these explosive action, and it just literally lights up that kill feed on the right hand side of your screen, and then it just simmers down again, like it's like a fireworks display. 4th of July or 11th of November, it just unleashes hell, and then it just like goes, okay, let's stop for a couple of minutes, let's gather our thoughts. And I think you're right. I think one knock here is just gonna unleash these top 6 teams. 11 people left with 26 on the clock, and we are phase 7 though.
Oh, he's about to snap on a snake, and does he know he's that explicit dancing with death there? And potentially the shots from Toxic pushing him back might have actually done him a favour. Oh my god, no, it's not, with that DBS coming in and just taking it. But he's not done. He's got to worry about O'Connell, and that's also perked up the attention of Archie as he's starting to wrap down and around this way. Might be a sandwich, but everybody knows now that there's a DBS on that southern side, and it looks like Toxic, they're going to confront it.
It's an interesting sound to hear, especially not in a compound. That's what I'm going to say. And then we see No Tags obviously with that instant sound straight to that DBS. And Pink Pony have come up from behind. Tokyo now pushing their way out the top as BFG now going to close the door though, hopefully on Tokyo for them. And they have, but they are the only team now that do hold an edge zone. As we roll into top 4, Toxic with 3, BFG with a 3, and V27 did have a 1. They're out. Pink Pony out with a 1.
Yeah. That fell so quickly, but we go into a 3v3v1, and Pink Pony, they've managed to do well after stabilizing from that insane individual brilliance from the shotgun there, just picking apart 3 members. And that was brutal because they looked poised. They looked good to win this, and the power was ripped away from them. The MK in the hand of Ironic, and he's put down some nasty stats this weekend. This last couple of days. Physics does get the first one, though, onto Toxic.
Looks like Archie's now coming over the top. He's taking the higher ground. He's rechecked himself back as he goes backwards and forwards on this west-hand side. Obviously, yes, BFG do have the knock on Toxic. Most people will get the res. The attention has been very much drawn now to Archie, who is at the high ground. One thing I will say, and I will say it now, and I'm really sorry if he does give it a commentator's curse. Oh, he did get one, and then nice quick knock as BFG going to have to stick the res on themselves. But Game 3 yesterday was the game that we saw BFG's momentum shift, and we are seeing it again today. It's like they need 2 games to warm up. And in this 3rd game, their momentum shift is huge. We saw them fighting grind more with that outstanding play with Squirtle Gang, and don't forget, that's when we saw Tokyo as a 1-man as well. That was our Game 3 yesterday, and BFG going for a bit of rock climbing, but it looks like
this could be huge.
Turned on.
This could be huge. If the audio doesn't come down, that he's dropped down, and it looks like he's just backed off. Obviously, the other BFG players are up high. If he wraps around and catches them sleeping as Toxic surge forward, trying to get up on even terms with BFG,
he's not going to wrap. He's not going to wrap. Look at the zone shift. The zone shift is not going to allow it. He's actually moved.
If he plays late, though, this could be huge.
That 100%. 100% is going to be a big play. He's moved himself to zone, but you're right. If he moves late now on this, if the Toxic guys get drawn to this fight up high, they're going to leave it too late to push down.
Exactly. And that's a wild call. That is one of the biggest plays ever. But Julian's going to take down Physics and take that plan apart with him. Nade's coming in as Ivor is now under siege, under the crate. Oh, it's picture perfect. And now that late player, that potential game changer, he's going to have to do just that. As Toxic, they surge forward, they go to find BFG, and now they're going to spot out the player down in the ravine. And it's ironic, he does have that MK in hand, though, so a little tippy tap, and it could be all over.
Looks like they've seen it. Long shots going out through. Vincent Batab's back. He wants to now hold him up the top there. That's enough. Great knock from them. They're trying to push themselves down to get the res. He has the zone on him.
That's damage. I can't believe it shifted down this way, and fortune favours the brave, and brave is what Ironic has been here. He's going to get 1 for himself after that as well. It does look like he is getting a little bit of the same treatment as they've dropped down, and Julian's going to have to come into his line of sight. It's going to have to be some great shots, but he can't avert his attention because of the player that's already dropped down to his left. Utility going to be expended. He's still in the line of sight, and now he's looking for that head. Just one tap with the MK in the zone against the back is going to be enough. He does get it, and that is that.
1-on-1. Oh, this is what we want. Game 3. BFG went 1-on-1 on game 3 yesterday. They're doing it again today, and it is all to play for. 1-on-1. Both these players are not going to just overcommit just yet. They have an outstanding ridge in front. Utility kind of third. They've got a little bit left. We see the final bits of their util now coming out.
I like this, Ironic, just trying to move around, remain elusive, and confuse him with those stun grenades. But no, he's on top of it. Alpeke. He knows exactly where he is. And now the back is against the blue of Ironic, but he does have enough of a ridge that he can dip down and around. Both these players not at full HP, and it is going to come down to who is the quickest on the peak, who can land their shots, because both of them, well, they've been fighting tooth and nail all the way through this game. It is going to come down to the start. Quick peek after quick peek, jostling with each other, teasing each other with the heads, but who is going to give it away first, Mark?
Toxic has the zone now. That big move from him, he kept quiet, he came down on the east-hand side of that zone and played in, actually now holding a dot. BFG have to make the move forward. Good play from them, though. This is outstanding. Oh! Whoa! BFG with a win on the third place with 9 kills. Oh, my God. What a game.
Ironic.
Disgusting.
Wow. Falling down. We
Oh
thought
my
it was
God.
going to end up high. We said he could rap. He could be the difference maker. Toxic got drawn into the fight. They win the fight with his 2 teammates up high, but then the zone yoinks his way. He puts that MK to good use, decapitating 2, getting the points, and then it comes down to a little do-si-do, a little dance on the mounds, and he wins the 1v1. That was absolutely fantastic. I said fortune favors the brave, and Ironic, well, he's the bravest man in this lobby, because that was insane to know that he could drop down there, and A, if the circle came his way, he was laughing, but B, he could potentially wrap up around and behind him. Wow.
That was really good play. The zone shifted, and he instantly jumped off that mound and tried to do that rock climbing. He knew he had to put himself in a position because it was only going to be the dot. It was unfortunate the other 2 players couldn't get down with him, but I just said it a minute ago, BFG, their momentum hugely increased after game 3 yesterday. Are we seeing the same shift again this evening? Will they be able to continue to play through? Will they put themselves through to the golden ticket? But, wow, what an outstanding game for both those teams at the end there. And to go down to a 1-on-1 was just great to see.
It was fantastic. That ends the end of our Miramar portion. We've got 2 games left, 2 chances to get those points, 2 chances to get yourself into the grand final. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gents. It's going to be a banger.
All clear on the roof. Heading back down.
Roger. Hurry up. We need to move.
Just make sure I don't take a bullet in the back.
Looking good. Keep it steady.
I hear footsteps. I got a bad feeling.
Enemy spotted. Move! Move!
You're going up next time.
There won't be a next time.
Oi, Amelia, what's the deal then?
2 up top, 2 downstairs.
All right, so we just go prancing in the front door as per usual then, huh?
Not today, hermano. We must be like ghosts. Trust me, this will do the trick. The fog of war. Remove all visibility. We take them out one by one. They won't know what hit them.
Oi, who's that behind you? Look, here's what we do. Surprise attack. We go in big chicken dinner style through the window, guns blazing.
You mean like in Miramar?
Oh, shit. Enough. First, we smoke out the first floor. but we'll need a distraction. Something super loud and obnoxious.
Right, I see where this is going.
Don't worry, Aziz. I got your back.
Vamos!
Winner, winner.
So, where to next?
Welcome back, ladies and gents. This is Ground Zero by Playtonia and mates. Wow, what a last game, and ironic. What a monster. BFG, BitFix Gaming. I know BFG for standing for Big Friendly Giant. He was the big fragging giant.
What a ending. We couldn't ask for more. And I'm still shocked over the third game back to back with BFG. And I'm super pumped to see what they're going to bring into Erangel because remember, game 3 yesterday was Erangel. So will that just unleash the BFGs, the big friendly giants, the big friendly fraggers? But it's going to be a good game to see, definitely 100%.
It is, and you made the point that we are switching over now to Erangel, the greener pastures of home, and of course where it all started for PUBG. So potentially that home field advantage coming in, and potentially we're about to get some more wacky circles, which might mean that we speed run the last 2 games, and it's chaotic. But before we go anywhere, we're going to have a look at the last game results and the points that came from that. So at the top of the charts, of course, PFG Bitfix with 19 points on the board. Toxic get themselves 14. The Ponies have another blistering game with 12. TMG, Shotgun Madness, 8 points to their name. Solo on 5. V27 get themselves some points on 5. Sakura Sensen with 4 points. And Formulation Gaming, they get another little chunk of placement, chunk of points for themselves as well. Aces Crew on 4. No Tag on 4. Kran on 3, Friends on 2, Ghetto Gang on 2, VVV on 2, Squirrel Gang on 2, and Grindmore the only one not to get some points. So it's an interesting breakdown there.
Yeah, let's not take anything away, but the top 3 obviously are kind of hoovering up a couple of kills. They're farming kills, but look at the rest of that lobby. It's actually quite split, and it's really good to see. Pretty much all the teams getting points on the board. Unfortunately for Grindmore, they got controlled a little bit on zone. Don't forget they did have a little snake in the grass coming in from behind them as they were playing on that east side. Grindmore, again, need to have a good couple of games now. These last 2 games for them are going to be key, and I want to see Grindmore grind their way over to that sort of left-hand side of the table, but they've got to put a grind in.
And talking about the right and left-hand side of the table, let's go and have a look at the overall leaderboard and see what the tail of the tape is after game number 3, because it's close. It's very close, and teams are chopping and changing in that top spots all over the shop.
Yeah, look at Aces still holding on to that lead, and now it has a gap between them as well. But the Bitfit game with that game there's put them nicely in contention, where they are just sitting in 3rd place. Solo are the same points, but with those kill difference are sitting in 2nd. But the momentum now, it looked to me that Bitfit Gaming want to go through to the final, and that last game stated that.
It was. We've talked about statements over the last 2 days, and that was just that. I'm looking down towards the bottom half of the qualification spots and to the right-hand side, and we've got 5th with 55 points, 53 points, 48 points, 47 points. Then we go on to the second half of the leaderboard, 45, 43, 44, 35. One good game that changed that home field advantage. I'm saying all the way down. I'm saying all the way down. It's still possible. There's still flickers of hopes, even for Triple V down there. 2 good games back to back. We've seen it happen already tonight with Formulation. 2 good games, and everyone else being started out.
They will cause the problem now because they've got to have 2 good games, which means a good balance of kills and a good balance of placement. So does that mean they're going to cause teams issues where teams maybe want to settle and just keep a nice steady momentum on the go? Or does it mean that they're going to have to go harvest kills, so they're going to have to start crashing some compounds? I think it'd be hard for V27, and we conquered for being 15th and 16th spot. Grind more for me though. They could definitely have a good couple of controlled games. Let's caveat that with a controlled games, because they have the ability to push themselves back out their leaderboard. We know that player base has got the expertise and the skill set to do it. I just want to see what they can do with 2 games in hand.
Yeah, and it is just 2 games left, and it's so exhilarating, especially when it's this close all the way down. But without further ado, we're not going to yammer on anymore. The points are still on the board for you to have a little look at, but we're looking at that plane path, and it is going to go all the way from southwest to northeast, pretty much diagonally across the center of Erangel. And this is a nice plane path, but what have we seen from nice plane paths, Mark?
You guys say horrible zones. I love how you use my north, east, south, and west this time, though. I am rubbing off on you. I'm going to say that straight off the bat. But with a good plane path means a horrible zone. And we had some really horrible zones yesterday with most of our wrangles. Actually, all of them, all 3 actually had a good number of water being in there. Some of them even to a point where actually potentially only 40% land being in. So we shall see.
Yeah. Game number 2 was just wild. There was 40%. It was on that southwest kind of quarry edge, and we'll be I'm just waiting. Bated breath. I want to see where the circle's going. I want to know what chaos we're going to get into. And again, I want to see if the pace of Varango yesterday for the first 3 games is going to be matched today by the last 2 games. It's interesting. And especially at this stage of the game, I think we are going to see teams change their play style significantly. And that can end up being a mixed bag and chaos.
Talk about changing game plans. Look at Grindmore and No Tag. These guys were sending it to Lepovka, and Grindmore just turned around. They've done a 180. They know they needed to get it centralized up and be happy with a drop zone, not fighting people off the bat, not giving it a 50-50 chance of that if they can be able to get out of not just the first zone, but just in that initial drop. So good play for them. So that zone it has played up. It has very much on the east-hand side, though, so we'll be okay. And most of the teams are split uncontended. So I fear this is going to be a quick game, mate.
I do. I'm quite a fan of that central area as well, of Hall of Fame and the surrounding areas to make for some very interesting circles. And, you know, being uncontested, being able to loot, being able to get your vehicles, that early game just leads to rammed circles as the game goes on. And I'm looking at it, there is a lot of open ground, but there's a lot of hidey holes. There's a lot of shacks. There's ridges. There's rocks. There's the forest. There's the sixes. There's Hall of Fame. There's the viable dips to play on the T junction by New Compound. I love this circle, and it can shift anywhere, and that's what makes it so exciting. We've had prison finishes of late. We've had so many interesting zones, and it's going to be interesting to see where these teams send it early, because if you go too central, and we've seen a lot of yoinking, we call it yoinking when it goes very hard to one direction. If it goes really hard southwest, it's a yoink from center to southwest.
Yeah, do you know
it's interesting because it can yoink in this circle, and sometimes the teams that go bang center can be punished hugely.
I think we see a lot of teams send up, but you know what I'm looking at was those amazing cowboy hats that appeared up on that left-hand side. Don't forget, we still got giveaways to go in, so keep hitting that chat, !! Giveaway. If you haven't won just yet, get yourself in. It's not just a one chance. You can get yourself in. We still have more to give away, so we'll give it a call some point through the stream. But as you hear me now is the time you need to start retyping ! Giveaway, followed then also by another line of text of the team that you're supporting for the win on this map number 9 this evening out of 10.
You know what, Mark? I think you should be the master of the call this time. I think you should give us when we're going to call it.
All right, we'll see for the game.
So you've set it up. It could be now. It could be before the end of the game. It could even be in the break. But Mark is the master of the cowboy hat, and you've got to give him a big yeehaw.
Yeah, definitely in chat. I need the cowboy hat to hide the greys. Back to the zone shifts before we go to my grey hairs. You're right, this could go a couple of ways. The IGLs are going to look at this. I think Pony have already put someone shelter place, so they are looking for a centralized zone. But with the zone, with the plane path and the zone shift that we see, I think we might see it potentially pull down towards that sort of southeast corner, as you mentioned. But what are the IGLs going to decide? Because we know, we've casted a lot, we know that these zones can end in multiple locations with this type of zone. We can, as you said, Mansion, we can see it go for shelter. We can see it go back down to small power. I love a small power finish. I am all a favourite for that, especially with the compounds around there. You've got those little mounds out in the field. The car forts really come into play. We might even see it go potentially up into the north side, pushing towards that Yaz, and we might see it end out in the field. So there's a lot to have. We're going to see a lot of different IGL calls, I feel. You may even be lucky enough to start seeing some 2-2 splits again.
I think that will be part of the game plan, as it looks like No Tag. Well, they're going to be pretty happy with Liquid. I can see a rotation adjacent to them. It looks like it's going to be taking Heaven or X Games, depending on where you're from, is what you call it. Hall of Fame being occupied as well, and that's by those friends yet again. Oh, toxic players. They've taken Liquid behind them, and they could be caught sleeping here. BFG, previous games winners, they've taken New Compound, and as Gibson always points out, this compound's been in for a couple of years now. When's it going to stop being called New Compound? Big shots from Liquid, and Sheila going out. It's going to be a little bit of a trade-off for damage there, but caught in the open. No Tag probably wishing that they crashed this early, because now they are in the middle of no man's land and being punished for it.
we did see him scout it as well, so they knew it was clear, but they didn't even put a player behind us to go, oh, you know what, let's stick someone in there just in case, let's ensure we don't get backfield. But they've made the mistake. They are pushing forward, and in between where we're seeing Hall of Fame and Heavens, where they are playing forward for a ghetto gamer, some really good dips there on the west-hand side, and we do see it in between, I call it the junkyard, that compound south to southwest of Hall of Fame. Out in that field, there's some good places that you can actually hide some cars in.
Yeah, the viable dips and ridges, and I really like them, but I think that is a timed. You got to have your timing picture perfect there, because if you get there too early, there's still too many people rotating, still too many people in the hills, there's still too many people with lines of sight. If you go too late, there's people already there, you're just going to get pre-naded and absolutely demolished. It's about timing for those dips. They are very viable, but you have to play them at the right time, at the right moment. Now, we're looking at our current leaders as they're coming across from Sovnovka Island, by the looks of it, taking the petrol garage on the west-hand side. And they're going to be looking to scout their way in pretty slowly, as they know that they are very far away from the circle. And most people should be pretty well established by this point.
Yeah, this is the scouting stage. This is the rotation points. We're seeing these teams now starting to play in. And look, instantly, even from that map feed on the right-hand side, you can see the IGLs have made different types of calls. We have calls where we're seeing very much, let's play on the edge, let's wait for the next zone. We're seeing a couple of 2-2 splits with Pink Pony in the middle. We've seen some people taking some early additional real estate off, and also on that bottom side, we're seeing fights now unfold at the bridge between Squirtle Gang and Ace Crew.
Ace Crew are going to get the first knock. JR with that Bison, the big PP energy, as we like to call it. And that's going to be a point on the board for them, further extending their lead. Nokia is going to go down, and he's a prominent spearhead, a prominent threat for the Squirtle Gang. So that's going to be a big loss for them early on as they just loot him. I think I just saw a shot come in and land at the feet there. Is going to just chuck a smoke down, continue looting, getting booted, and picking up an SLR for your trouble as well. That's not a bad prize.
No, definitely not a bad prize, and it is a good position. I love this road here, that sort of high hill road that pushes down to this 2-2 pit you see with Pink Pony, and it is a good split they've got. They've got to be very careful, because if Secura get a knock here, we know this is a team that currently need to get into the golden ticket, so they've got to get a knock. I fear that these guys will tighten up and crash very quickly.
Yeah, they will. It's that one knock and go kind of mentality, and that's why we love Sakura. That's very entertaining to watch, but we call this Death Road. It's fantastic to scout, but everyone wants it. And you're going to see a lot of rotations coming on in, and Sakura Sensen, they have to be set up not only to take the fight with Pink Pony, which they want to do so, but look at this. Look at the teams now coming in. It looks like it's going to be V27. They're coming in and might be about to crash onto Sakura Sensen on that Death Road, as we like to call it, and the shots, the traces there kicking off already.
I'm not a fan of the actual tower on Death Road, because I feel like teams get trapped in it. I say all the time, I like playing open space anyway. Secure Sensor need to deal with this. They've got to answer the call to V27. I know there's only 3 of them here, as they do hold a wider split down at the compound, but they've got to answer the call, and they've got to deal with this push from V27. V27 need the kills. They're going to push. They're going to try and get as much as they can, and if they've got a split of Secure Sensor, they might be able to capitalize.
Exactly, and it's V27. They're the ones that need the kills. They're the ones that are going to chase them and go after them. And if they identify that there is a big split with Sakura Sensen, well, it's divide and conquer. And I think that's exactly what's going on. All the while, the longer this fight drags on and rages on, the more eyes, ears, and reticles that will be drawn to it. And it's going to become very uncomfortable for Sakura Sensen very, very quickly if they let this fight drag on for so long. It looks like V27, well, they've got a good read on things, because they know that Salty's up on the hill. They've already sent shots his way from the Wizard Tower, and they've already been oppressing the 2 other guys at the east-hand side of the ridge, the hill. So if they choose to get aggressive instead of just sit in the Harry Potter Tower, things could fall apart very quickly. And again, Sakura Sensen, they're not a team we're used to seeing on that side of the leaderboard. They're looking for a good game.
You know what? They've got the IQ. The zone shifted. It looks like they're going for a pickup. They can't be taking the tabs, because both these teams now need to move to zone.
They do. It has shifted and it's gone east. So we are potentially in for one of those really interesting finishes. And I'm for it. I love it. I love a Prism finish. I love a Mansion finish. I love just all of the terrain over that side. And it is things are starting to kick off as friends. They look like they are taking down not only Ghetto Gang, but those pink ponies. And that is going to be Hall of Fame, I believe, / Heaven. The fight still rages on.
Secure Sentinel is very into this. They're very tunnel vision now. They've got to think about zone, and they've got to think about 2 games.
They do. And it's that balance. Do we stick for the frags? Do we stick and play the edge and get these 4 players? Or do we prioritize getting set up, getting end zone where the frags can come to us? Oh, good off angle now being played by Soggy. He's gone down low, but the exchange is starting. Big nade comes up and over, does the damage, but it is going to be V27 that opens things up. Intense waiting on the edge of the smoke. He gets spotted out, takes a trickle of damage, but gets behind Dacia. R2KB goes to his belly as another molly is going to go over and actually flush out one of the Sakura Sensor boys. So he's going up to the Harry Potter Tower, trying to get in the face. Tek is still back off, trying to anchor, but he's not going to have lines of sight. And another member of Sakura Sensen will fall. It's not looking good here. 1 player down for V27. They should be able to stabilize. They should be able to get up. But Salty taking the fight to them, trying to get on in. But shots, damage coming out from the nades. Potentially just a defensive 3 nade is going to peek on in around R27, R2KV spots out. Tek is the player playing further back. And fight is tussling. It's changing. And it is going to go. Salty is going to go down, leaving things on to Deckers. It's a peek up on and over. And that's that. Sakura sensing out. V27 hunting for the points. Needed the points. They're going to be able to stabilize. They should get all of the reses off here. And they've got 4 points in their back pocket. And not only that, they've got points and ejected one of the teams that they need to take down. One of the teams in their way. One of the teams on the same half of the leaderboard as them. And that's a great start. And it's going to be a confidence booster as well as starting that momentum.
First time we've said Sakura Sentinel out in 16th place. Ace Crew though, the tunnel, so it's not great compound here. They're pushing them. They're hoping this zone is going to pull back towards them. As they are situated just outside of prison, expect a 2-2 split. They might put an additional player up on that sort of prison side, as it may play back. It is a risky play. I think the zone's a bit too high for this one, as it might try and play more towards that mansion. We do like seeing that mansion finish because it has that swamp and it does offer everything else up. It could donut up. If it does donut up or pull down towards that southeast corner, we might see this play for our leaders play off. But they have a lead. They can do risky things now. And they can try new things out. And there we go. Solo is eliminated. A team that has grinded their way up towards that left-hand side. Their leaderboard up in 3rd place. But with Tokyo sitting on the right-hand side, they need to clear these teams.
Tokyo seem to have come alive, much like we see Bitfix, that halfway point. And they've woken on up. Of course, very influential yesterday on Aaron Gale as well. So good to see them getting frags on the board. 3 to their name, but they are in the blue. They're having to come on forward and they're having to come into this zone late. So what can they do from this? They need the momentum. They've got the kills in the back pocket, and it looks like they want to build off that.
They've got to keep building, and they are building. So let's ensure they. We've seen, well, the last 2 days, we've seen outstanding plays for them anyway, even as solos, but it looks like they're forming together as a team. They're gelling again at this event. Semi-final seems to be just another stepping stone, but it's a stepping stone they do have to take because they do have to put points on the board, so they've got to a little bit harvest skills. They've got to go farming.
They do indeed, and BFG, they're taking some losses, and Friends look like they're the ones that are farming, as they've been in the kill feed very prominently in this game. Jam relaying the information from that high side on prison that our team inside the bunkers, inside the trenches, rotations coming on and in. Jam's location might not be safe for much longer, especially if Atomical lands shots like that. My word.
It's a hard place to fight out in this trench, and I do worry for formation game enough on a good start this evening. Be a hard one to come out of here. His own chips away. Great shot. As he finds space, as he get this one, but will we get? No, we don't. As we nearly get formation game with the steal. Fires on fires. Pink Pony are in rags on the run.
Big rotation coming out there. They had to run the gauntlet, and it doesn't look like it's over now as Explicit gets Gyri down. And Illidan and Nordskiff, well, it's a little bit of team-on-team action there as they run over each other. It wouldn't be competitive esports if it didn't happen. But TMG, they've going to act on this as Sahar goes down from Shro and is flushed out immediately. So potentially a silly little mistake, which happens to all of us, might be about to unravel Friends and be very rewarding for TMG here.
Well, this is a good space to take.
Oh, wow.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Look at that. Eliminated. As Cran are holding the open space, they've got to just ensure that not are taking long distance shots at them. And here we see Toxic are playing in on this west-hand side where we've got Formulation Gaming are in the trenches, and they've got to try and figure out how they get away from this one.
They do indeed. Circle, they might be content to stay there for a while as Toxic players. They look like they're setting up in the shadow in one of those dips and ridges that we talked about, getting the car fort sorted. Ooh, that looked like it was a little bit of a scene. There's still more fights going on and friends are eliminated. It's going to be TMG that get there. There were knocks in tow though, and they have to stabilize themselves, and they are in no man's land. It's going to be interesting to see if they've got anywhere. No, they're at the Alamo actually, so they are going to be able to stabilize. This is good for them. Big kills on the board already, and it's building that momentum further. Zone shifts, and oh my, in between that mansion where we've got Toxic set up, the trenches, and what we call the yellows.
Now, Toxic are in a really, really good spot. I've seen teams play this really well, and they've got the car fort set up to protect them from that west hand push from where Toxic are going to try and come in. If is the big thing. If Toxic can hold, they've got this wonderful dip that they will keep their heads down, let the other teams continue to unfold and fight. Toxic don't need to go harvest kills like other teams do because they are sitting fourth at the moment. Yes, it is tie, but they're putting themselves in this position is going to put them to potentially the end game. They just need to see this one out.
Aces, they're thinking about moving as it does look like V27. They're going to be coming down from that south east side of circle, trying to get up into the wood line, into just break up those lines of sight. But they have to move fast. The lines of sight, well, doesn't matter if someone's got lines of sight on you if phase 4 blue is tickling your back, because that will chunk you just as fast as 556. And Jam, here's one, and he's going to get caught sleeping here as he ducks behind the tree. Pre-fire comes out. Jam's got a little bit more to play with, and backup in the form of Purdy, who is going to get that one, and that's an easy free kill for the boys as they move on up to 3. And it's looking good for Aces, but they do have to move next zone. I would have thought, but they can gatekeep for the time being, and they love fragging, they love gatekeeping, and they love just being pestering.
Good knocks here. Aces have got the anchor point though, so they want to play off of this prison. They want to ensure no one backfields them. V27 again trying to harvest kills, and they're trying to backfield to ensure they get as much as they can on the board. But with these nades and these frags coming from, V27 are unfortunately losing numbers and now down to a 2-man. They've got to use the util. The phases, the zones coming in. Phase 4 is going to hurt, and they've got to get shifting quick.
They do, and getting in the Dacia, trying to get that stick shift in action. They're going to have to run the gauntlet past the boys. Does look like there might be a little bit of saving grace here as BFG, they're coming up and potentially thinking about getting in the face. The drive-by coming in as Michael gonna find one, and they cross the compound in which Ace's crew once resided. They have got back at the same time though, so can take it on even terms somewhat, but the numbers game firmly in the favor as we get another 5 kills for Stro. Or Grindmore, they're being punished here, but everyone's being punished that's open on the field. Stro, oh my goodness. Cars flipping, action everywhere. Stro's going to get another one on Grindmore as Michael just charges in. Jump shot, hip fire, collects it. 6 kills on the balls, and Ace's crew, they decimate V27, and that's not good for them. Tokyo Magic Gang follow them pretty quickly after that, and it looks like we got a DC there from JR, unfortunately.
I love that Grindmore just laid down there and let everyone else do the work. As we saw Tokyo unfortunately go out, the open area is great, but yeah, when other teams are getting involved in the third party, it can be painful. That zone is shifting and it is favouring Toxic again. It's going back to them. Just keep your head down, boys. Try and see yourself through. Let the other teams fight.
Yeah, so that east side of the zone now, where we've got Ghetto Gang, and I believe it will be Khan, and just below them, I think, who else is just below them? That is going to be No Tag. Well, No Tag, they've got the cards in their favor, but Ghetto Gang, they're getting in the face of Kran here, trying to take the advantage away from them and not allow them to disengage as they are segmented, and that Overwatch from the free story is going to be fantastic for them.
Yeah, oh God, Ghetto Gang have the blue on their back. Kran have the blue on their back. All these teams need to shift in. There isn't much for them to go for. No Tags have the blue on their side. They're just residing in zone. They've got to stop this push. Now, the question is, when do they go? Do they go come out and go for this? We saw that yesterday where they came out their compound to try and take on the third party. Or do they try and hold it? We see now Kran and Ghetto Gang go at it head to head.
Oh, great nade from Hakatori. There's
nade.
going to take Shigan down. And, oh, you know what I'm seeing on the minimap? I'm seeing those Aces boys. They're getting involved. They're seeing the kill feed. They're hearing the nades. They're hearing the gunshots. They're seeing the smokes. And they're going to come up and try and stab Cran in the back here, get some more points on the board. Ghetto Gang, though, down to 2 players, Blazer and April. And the blue, like you said, against their back. Phase 5, they're going to have to get in here, and they're going to have to get in quick. But is there anywhere to go? Purdy is going to find the first one, but be immediately traded out by Hakatori.
Yeah, and again, not helping. They are stabbing the back of both these teams here. They've actually got one the kill confirmed on the 3Vs, but they actually are in zone. Fran now just trying to get across and just double check to make sure there's no more of the ace crew lurking, as they will try and dig themselves around, but they've only got an option now to crash. And looks like they've opted to go crash formation game.
Formation Gaming, they're going to be ready for this, but how ready will they be? Utilities coming out, a team that's getting stuck between the Dacia, a rock and a nade, and that's a hard place if I've ever seen one. And Cran, well, they're getting picked apart from formulation, from no tag, the nades coming up and over, the cars exploding, the utility, the shots from the DMRs, and it's not been fun for them. But Formulation Gaming, they can't rest on their laurels because they've got to defend against BFG, a little bit of Scandinavian action on Scandinavian action.
Literally defending the trenches. They have to defend the trenches now, and it is going to be hard. Good action going on the other side. The Squirtle Gang get the nade, and they have hit Ghetto Gang as they are playing instead of the blue, and they express themselves into compound. No tag are defending hard.
5 kills on the board for them, looking pretty good as they spot out one of the Squirtle squad, peeking that cheeky little window. April is going to go down to the zone, so Ghetto Gang down to a 1, as I think it stands. VVV there in the carport, the smoke to dissipate, and Explicit's going to get some rounds on that, and not just his Explicit. It's going to be a tandem shot there, nearly taking a life and severely weakening VVV there, and they have the Squirtle squad at their back, so safe haven for now, but not with that circle shift.
Give Toxic a tracking device, because PUBG Zone are following them. It is centered down towards them, towards a southwest corner, and we are seeing pretty much all of the teams, apart from Toxic and Formulation Gaming, now going to have to make a move into zone. PFG, they've got a little man in front of them they'll play up to, but they will then be seen by Formulation Gaming. Brian Moore going to have to try and call their way in, but they're running out of dips and crevices, and what I'm really keen to see is what we're watching now. No tags are up on top of the actual shacks themselves. We've got Squirtle Gang, 3V, and Ghetto Gang all need to try and get themselves in. And there is not much. There's a couple of rocks. You're going to need the vehicles. You've got to need the vehicles coming into the end game.
You are. It's not an awful lot to play. There are a few more little ridges, but I wouldn't even call them that. They're maybe slight elevations, but you need cars to make it work. And Peaks coming around in China wins. Decapitates Explicit there. Squirtle Gang making their move though onto the last remaining member of the Ghetto Gang. It's a bit of gang on gang action here.
Who has the right to hold that lane?
Oh my.
Looks like Ghetto Gang with a knockdown. Here come the vehicles, as they're going to have to take the vehicles in.
VVV dealing with no tag though. It's going to buy a little bit of time for the Squirtle squad to move on out and get themselves away from that engagement, trying to take the fight. And that is going to be Ghetto Gang eliminated by the Squirtle boys. So, no tag. They managed to get one in.
End zone, they're putting some points on the board now. I'm a bit worried. They haven't got the smokes, but they are just trying to use it as much as they can. And smokes can be a disadvantage as much as an advantage, because with zones like this, if the smoke starts going off, you kind of draw your attention to it. But on the flip side, it can keep you alive for a lot longer. Now, Ghetto Gang, though, with another 2 points on the board, they do have a player down, and they are trying to get him in as they do carry him into zone to be able to stick the best. It's going to put him back to a 3. We've got 7 teams left, 18 left on the board, 24.5 on the clock. It is going to unfold.
It is down into the placement points as Rafa's looking for a place to call home, and I think just in between those little buggy wheels is where he's going to call it. That zone is extremely open. Formulation Gaming, they pretty much know they've got their back clear. They know that they've got neighbors in the form of a BFG just to the left on that west side, but that means that they're not going to be allowed to take the fight over to Toxic, who Toxic have, like you said, they have just magnated zone. They took a chance. They set up in a dip with a car fort. Now that's been played before. To know that that's there and set it up in such a way that they have, and then to be rewarded with it, it just shows the experience on this team. It's phenomenal. As now shots come in from Formulation Gaming, putting the hurt onto 3V, and also just giving a little bit of an indication to Rafa about what's on his back.
This is about like getting ready for next game. I've seen it happen all the time. These end zones, like
Rapper's dead.
They come straight out to answer no tags. They want to hold this center zone. Now the teams are going to have to defend on their way, and they're going to come into them. Formation Gaming have the slightest of edges left of their their compound, their trench, so to speak. BFG got that pound that they want to try and play. It's all about angles now, and there we go. Squirrel Gang picking up Grindmore as the angles are going to descend. There is no cover here, ladies and gentlemen. It is horrible. This is where you need the vehicles. You need to make the car forts. But more importantly, it's the experience. Toxic knew what's happening. 3Vs getting tabbed. Formation Gaming trying to control their corner of the zone. This is horrible.
Kind of wins. Yeah, not a fun situation to be in. Bitfix coming under some mortar fire, and they've also got the attention of the Squirtle guys. Oh, the nades just coming up and over, and it's the Toxic boys sitting in the middle. Kings of the castle just raining down and pushing anyone that tries to crest on over and look into that little fort that they built themselves. It's a tough situation, and I think the majority of the zone is going to do the work for Toxic here, because anyone that crests a peak on them to punish them is going to be punished by the other side of the zone.
Yeah, this is, again, they're just going to lay low. Don't expect huge kills from Toxic, but this is kind of where they need to step the gears up now, just to be sure no one gets close enough to them. Toxic now picking up the BFG as they lurk close, but receive a huge amount of damage on the way back.
It's a 1-2 there, and now the kill feed absolutely erupts. We go down to our top 4 teams, and it is going to be a 4v3v 2v1. Bitfix Gaming, they managed to hold on. Toxic, they've lost one. One's on their knees, and they're now getting the full wrath of the lobby that they've oppressed and been unopposed by for the whole of the last 4 zones.
Look at Formation Gaming, though. They know they can't hold that trench. They cleared that east-hand side, and now they're up. They're taking capitalization.
Oh, atomical.
Great shots into the bowl, and this is where this section falls down for these teams, because if they have the utility, it's only going to roll to one place, and that's exactly where Toxic are laying.
We are seeing Bitfix, though, they're being proactive, chasing Formulation Gaming's rotation, and that in tow is being done by the Squirtle Gang as they're just trying to get lines of sight into this dip, and now Physics is going to spot out Atomical by the looks of it. Now it's going to be a 1-2 tap. Good night there, good sir. More points on the board, but stabbed in the back immediately by Frenchie and the Squirtle Gang. It's like ring of rosies here. They're following the rotation path, so a sliver of HP, 1 HP, and that's that. Stratus and Atomical come together to wipe out Toxic, who have remained unopposed in the center of that zone. Now with 3 players up, can they do the work that's required of them? 3v3. Snooski takes some heavy damage and has but a tree to play with. Still more damage coming in. Now the utility is about to burn him up and make him move from that tree. The Molly does enough, bringing it into a 2v3. Squirtle Gang versus Formulation Gaming, and Formulation Gaming, they've woken up today, but the Squirtle Gang, well, they might be about to use their water pistol and throw the Pokeball in game number 4.
They won their chicken dinner. Be their first for them in the semi-finals, and they've got it in them to take it. We've seen outstanding plays already over 2 days for these guys, and that round of roses, as you saw, they were chasing the teams. It's the right play for them. They had a massive rotate to rotate the southwest corner. They pushed away from the south, and they are just chasing Formulation Gaming, and they want to chase it through to the chicken dinner.
Oh, in hand of Porky, and it could be the difference, and well, as he gets one, bringing it down to a 2v2. The res should come out instantaneously behind that BRDM, but it is going to allow for Stratos to move. The anchor is still there. The cover is there, still there from Squirtle Gang, but have they spotted Stratos? Do they know he's moved? They've still got all eyes on Hawkeye, and Hawkeye with the Hawkeye, with that bolt, is going to be a nuisance. I'm going to put Squirtle Gang very much on edge here.
Yeah, he needs to stay up here. He needs to keep the attention because they haven't seen Stratos move, and he is now doing exactly what Squirtle Gang done to BFG and Formulation Gaming to a degree, because they're wrapping around in the blue. I love it when we see players with this IQ that they use the blue. But remember, that sound of the blue also camouflages those footsteps. He'll be able to come up behind, and he does. He gets some good shots on. It's going to be up to now for Hawkeye now to try and deal the damage, as unfortunately he goes down. Now 3-on-1.
3-on-1, and the zone is about to reveal itself. The numbers advantage. There's no chance of that res coming out, and they know that Hawkeye has got that bolt. So if they team peek him, he can only focus on one. He's only got 1 round that he can unleash at a time. We saw him make it count, but can he do it against 3 eyes, 3 lines of sight, and 3 angry guns looking his way? It's going to be a big job. The circle, not in his favor either. That spearhead of the Squirtle Gang closer to it. So Hawkeye has the work to do, and he has the numbers disadvantage. Spency, though, is flanking on around, trying to get a cheeky angle, and a distraction from the other two members will keep Hawkey's attention. So this is about to be GG's, I think. Can he do something magnificent? No, but what a game. Squaddle Gang, well, I love that logo. I love the name. And they get a 19-point chicken dinner. I think that's their first. And it's good. But Formulation Gaming, we talked about their momentum, and they've had some blinding games today. See themselves in the top 4 again with kill points on side. They're trying to seal the deal, and they're working hard for it. I can see how hungry they are, and I love it.
Well, we Squirtle go and pick up their first chicken dinner. It'd be rude of us not to say hit that giveaway challenge. Let's see. Hit that in chat. Let's see who actually picks that one up. As you're going to go pull that one in, that is an outstanding game. Squirtle Gang done the right thing. They actually played an outstanding rotation, and they then third party behind, and then they capitalized it. Hawkey though, let's not take it away. He deserves that name because that Hawkeye on that bolty action, we've seen it day after day, game after game. He's hitting those shots for those bolty. I don't want to come across him in a lobby. Put it that way.
No, not at all. And it is going to be Lukey that has won that skins that you. I love that transition, by the way, Mark. That was beautiful. So, Lukey, send me a message, send me a DM. We'll get that skin on over to you. But we are going to take a break. And when we come back, it is the last game of the night, the last game of the 2 qualifiers, the last chance to get that golden ticket into the finals. Don't go anywhere.
All clear on the roof. Heading back down.
Roger. Hurry up. We need to move.
Just make sure I don't take a bullet in the back.
Looking good. Keep it steady.
I hear footsteps. I got a bad feeling.
Enemy spotted. Move! Move!
You're going up next time.
There won't be a next time.
Oi, Amelia, what's the deal then?
2 up top, 2 downstairs.
All right, so we just go prancing in the front door as per usual then, huh?
Not today, hermano. We must be like ghosts. Trust me, these will do the trick. The fog of war. Remove all visibility. We take them out one by one. They won't know what hit them.
Oi, who's that behind you? Look, here's what we do. Surprise attack. We go in big chicken dinner style through the window, guns blazing.
You mean like in Miramar?
Oh, shit. Enough. First, we smoke out the first floor. But we'll need a distraction. Something super loud and obnoxious.
Right, I see where this is going.
Don't worry, Aziz. I got your back.
Winner, winner.
So, where to next?
Welcome back, ladies and gents, to Ground Zero, Playtonia Feet Mates, the close qualifiers. There is one game left. It has been extremely close, and there's one chance left to get into those top 8s to qualify to the grand finals. Now, I and Mark have very different perspectives on how we like to do things in qualifiers. Now, when it comes down to the last game, I don't like to look at the leaderboard. I don't like to have the information. I don't like to know, because I want it to be as electric as possible and as exciting as possible. And I want to find out with you, the audience, who has qualified and who's made it through. Now, Mark's a bit of a sadist because he likes knowing that. And he said, I'm going to wind you up all through this game because I know everything. Essentially, he is the puppeteer over the top, and he's already tried to bait me into it, saying, you're missing a trick here, mate. But what we're going to do is we are going to look at the leaderboard for the last game, not the overall. And we're going to tease you. We are not giving you the overall leaderboard. So, production and Mark, take us over to the last game stats.
You sure you don't want to know?
Stop it.
So, last map-wise, so the last scores on the door for that. Look at that. Squirrel game. I put 19 points on the board, 9 kills, 10 placement points. That's a good game for them. That could be game-changing on quarter of the leaderboard. But we have to do the maths. Get your calculators out, everyone. This game is going to be close. Formulation game at another consistent level for them as they do back-to-backs. They've actually really making sure they are in this sort of top side of the leaderboard, and it's working for them. 15 points for them, 9 kill points, and 6 rank placement points. TM though, no placement points, but look at that. We talked about harvesting kills. Teams on that right-hand side of the leaderboard need to harvest kills, and they were sitting on the right-hand side. And with those 9 kill points, that is a good and sitting them in the 3rd place. BFG though, only picking up 8 with 4 ranks and 4 kills. Ace Crew are leaders of the pack so far. They're in 5th. Toxic are now in 6th. No Tags, another team that we consistently see up there, but they have some good games, they have some bad games. They are thereabouts. It's going to be tight now in the middle side, but they're sitting in 7th place. 6 points on the board, 5 kill points, only 1 ranked point for them. We came, we saw, we conquered, and well done. The guys have got themselves over this side. They got 6 points there, 3 out of placement points, and 3 on kills. It is a good to see the 3 Vs working their way up on the Magic. So that's our little cheeky map wise. Let's go across to the other stats and facts that we've got from production.
So this is the overall kills for the 9 games that we've had so far. We are about to go into the 10th, and it's the man, the myth, the legend, the big USA machine of Purdy with 20. Ironic though, after that game, that solo, that individual brilliance, he sits himself in 2nd. Jeka, well, he's been prominent in this the whole way through from the get-go on 18. Sos on 18 as well, and Big Michael, my man, my mate, he rounds out the top 5 for kills.
And let's not take anything away, because on that right-hand side, look, Ghetto Gang have had great games, great early games as well, and Blazer's putting up a nice 15-pack on there on the knocks. We also see Friends now creeping into the knocks. Again, don't take anything away. Yeah, they're getting the knocks, maybe not the kills, but it's the hard shift, and it's going to be the damage that is going to be causing there, which is helping the teams overall. But damage won't lead to points because you still need to get those kills on the board. But look at this overall damage.
Wow.
It has actually been taken away slightly, as we did see the Ace actually run their way through. But Ace is though, Michael's still sitting top spot with BFG now in 2nd. Purdy is down in 3rd place. I think he's stealing kills to get on that top leaderboard. Decker, always here. And then we see Friends wrapping up on that 5th place. Ignored as he's outstanding games, high amount of damage, and that explains with the knocks.
Yeah, and wow, 1,000 difference between 1st and 2nd. Big Mike always dropping down the numbers. But ladies and gents, without further ado, it's game number 10, the last chance of the qualifiers before the grand finals. Oh, Mark, take us away.
Oh, you want to close your eyes because you can see some points on the leaderboard.
Oh, there, no, so... I can't. No, no.
As you all can see, you're like me now who can see the leaderboard. I knew that was coming as well. I did not want to say anything to Croc.
Production!
I love this overlay. Good rotation now as the playing path is in the south, up to sort of the northeast side. It does favour more of a southeast potential zone shift. We might even get a cheeky military, as we haven't had a military ending, have we? I don't remember. And we've seen some military bridges, we've seen some military crosses, but this could potentially lead for that kind of zone coming down and the plane path's gone. We've seen some early jumps go across as Formulation Gaming Haven't jumped over with Grindmore, have both sent it towards Military Island there. Crown now looks like they're pushing their way towards Novo. Ace with another early drop. It looks like these guys are pushing out towards Ferry Pier. Go get the hard spawn clients and rotate out. All other teams are slightly split. We might see a congestion as V27 and Pink Pony going towards Milta. Again, teams we saw, without me giving away the leaderboard, teams which were on the right-hand side of that leaderboard on technically game number 9 or map number 9 or game number 4 this evening. They need to get some kills. I think we're going to see some real hectic early gameplays here as we see teams going clash, and they want to try and take some real estate. But more importantly, they want to get those points on the board.
They do. I'm looking at Yaz Naya. We've got 3 teams going in there. I just got a shout out to production. I turned away when that screen came up with all of the scores, and I got a little chuckling voice come through saying, "Crot, you can look now." But look at that zone. We've got back to craziness. We got 50% land, 50% water, and it's on that east-hand side. Now, the 3 teams that were tussling it out, they're going to be pretty much closest to wherever they want to go inside this circle if they choose to rotate early and not engage with each other. But I think the frag war is about to begin. It does look like our boys from Ghetto Gang, they are disengaging. They're looking towards Mansion. They're looking towards the T-Junction just up the hill and the 3-stack. But our big winners of this is going to be Friends.
Yeah, they're capitalising here. I see so not and 3v. These guys have heard of it. This is what I want to watch now. Is we are seeing these guys need the kills. It has gone backwards and forwards. We've seen the kill feed both V27 and Pink Pony getting some knocks in. Both the teams need to potentially get a resident as a V27 have got 1 confirmed. So Pink Pony now down to a 3, but V27 with a knock looks like they're sticking the res, and Pink Pony with a slight split. And these guys are dancing the tango now, backwards and forwards, both really in rags. They've not got a full setup, and they are literally dancing the tango.
They are, and I think that's because we can see they both got AKs, and there's no helmet on the side of R2KV, and he doesn't quite know what his enemy's got. He doesn't know, they don't know what he's got, but now dancing around the stairs. They're doing the do-si-do, and it is going to be R2 that wins that and gets another point on the board. Meanwhile, his team are doing much of the same, and that is going to be an absolute annihilation on the side of V27. And we talked about both of these teams. We know they can frag out. We know that they deserve to be here. They've earned their way here, and we've expected more. Pink Ponies look like they were starting to mount a comeback, and they've just had their shoes clipped. That will be the end of their tale, and unfortunately, we know that they're not going through. Meanwhile, we're getting a big fight on the board. It's going to be our leaders and TMG, Tokyo Magic Gang. It looks like there's been a 1-for-1 trade on that fight as well, so not quite sure where they're engaging with one another. It does look like... Where am I looking at? I'm looking at the compounds just to south of Pachinki on that road along towards Sharkfin and the new docks. So... 1-for-1 trade so far.
A little bit of a split there. So they Ace had picked up a solo of Tokyo, but it looks like it was a trade backwards and forwards as Jeffrey's gone down, so jump down and out. But we look on the side on that hills. We just saw Crest over the top. Sakura Zenton are hounding because they need the points.
They do, and you know we've talked about it time and time again. I love watching Sakura. I think they're an exhilarating team, especially when they get rolling. They are unstoppable. They are monsters, and they're all real funny guys as well. But it's not gone their way, and I'm not used to seeing them being at the bottom of the leaderboard or on the wrong side of the leaderboard, should I even say. And they are going to go hunting. And sometimes when they let the shackles off and they go fragging, that is when they are monsters. But this is a lobby of extreme talent, and what might work in one lobby where you go fragging, where you just hunt every kill, every gunshot, will not work in every lobby. And they're looking at some of the most talented players that I personally know down at the compound from this hill that they reside on now. Of course, we got Michael, Purdy, Jam probably with the clip of 2022, the Revolver drive-by. As talking about drive-bys, production treating us to a lovely little flyby following that boat. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Playtonia production team and mates for putting this on, but not only for putting it on, for being incredible support to us, for giving us all the beautiful graphics, all the beautiful scenes on the screen, and for just being a fantastic production team to work with. It's been a pleasure, and we can't wait to work with you again.
Oh, they might not win you back. I'm a pain as a caster.
Oh my goodness!
Great shots. Here's Friends get 1, 2, 3 down from Squirtle Gang, and the last Squirtle Gang is squirting his way out, and he's going to be pushing himself down and away.
like that, squirting his way out.
I find it really hard not to talk about points and stuff. I'm not going to lie, because I know what the scores are, and I know who needs points, and that's going to
You are
really
literally
tell how
the
people
puppet
play,
master.
and we're seeing it now without me saying who needs points and who doesn't need points. Who you're going to see in the kill feed is the interesting one for me, because not just the teams that need the points, there are teams that are just thinking on the edge that they have the golden ticket at the moment to the finals, but they've got to hold on to it because you know someone wants it.
And this is what I find interesting, because as someone that doesn't like knowing the last game scores, what happens is, like you say, people chase kills, people play more aggressively, knowing the work that they do, but you also see the ones that are kind of safe, play safe. They don't want to give it away. They play for that end game, and because they play slow, because they change their game, sometimes they're punished for it. My saying is, you are in the top spots for a reason. You are in this qualifier for a reason. If you change your play style because of where you reside on the leaderboards, you change what has worked for you up until this point, that can be more punishing than any other thing in the last game. And it's so interesting to see. And Friends, well, they've been fantastic, and it looks like they're continuing the hunt. And that Squirtle, well, it doesn't look like he's ever going to get to a Blastoise or a Warthog, because they are hunting.
That's coming down. Nice quick kill and confirm there from 3.
AWM. Sorry.
Oh, gang is holding. He wants to be the very best. He's out the back. That fire's hit him. He's going to go down. And Scott Gang have tabbed himself. But I 100% agree with your statement. So for those that know me and do follow me on my social medias, on Twitter, you will know that I do play a weird sport. I've been playing for many years, but I get paid to play paintball, and I've been lucky enough to be able to play it globally, and we play a format called Exports. And one of the coaches for a team that I play at the moment, he sums that sort of up in a really nice way. Is that when you are up on points, and we play formats like this where we play for points, getting defended in that as Mansion wants to be theirs, 2 down, that's kill confirmed. It's actually about playing your game plan. Your game plan got you to that top of that qualifying spot, got you in the top 8. Why would you change your game plan and play other people's games? Continue to play your game plan and get your game format and secure your spot into the final.
Oh, that nade might be fantastic there as it's getting slotted into the door. The res isn't quite coming out yet. Ghetto Gang surging forward, though. They've got the numbers advantage. They got the Overwatch from April as he's going to try and relay information. But in the woods, it is chaos as VVV. They get one down, but they get instantly trade back out. And it is just a absolute multitude of knocks and kills in that kill feed coming forward. The woods being just traps laid out in the woods, and it's Toxic that are getting punished for it. We got more pink on purple action, but that Bolty comes out and sings its song again to bring things to a 2v2. Can he find another one? Oh, that Pity just tippy-tappa-tapping, bringing down to 10 HP, no HP, and now 3Vs. They're looking so good, and they're about to take the power away from Toxic. Going into the last game, they've been so prominent, so powerful, and it looks like they might be getting ejected early.
Down to a one-on-one fight here. He comes back over, actually tabs in none of the other players from 3v and now continues to hold the line, but they have been ejected out in 14 places. We came to conquered. Now actually showed up on the last map, game number 10. No tag them following up.
Oh, they get eliminated. 12 teams, so I think someone else got eliminated as well, but it's going to be a quick-paced game. We've already lost 4 teams, 44 players left inside the lobby, and not even 10 minutes on the clock. 4 kills on the side of Friends, and Friends, I have enjoyed watching them. I've enjoyed their playstyle. When they get moving, when they're rewarded with the position in the zone like they were on Miramar today, they make it count. We see some teams, they're quite happy to sit there and let the lobby do the work. No, these boys, they chase. They go hard in the paint.
Bad zone shit. It is coming right down. I actually fear it might even pull back even further. Maybe not a mil to power, small power. It might come down to that corner compound. Now, that being said, we have seen it centralize up and go around that sort of prison area and it goes out northwest. A lot of fight is going to be Solo now take on Tokyo. Tokyo will get fire behind the showers with trucks and beat it over the top. Let's try and catch that. Unfortunately, missing that one. The flash has connected. The Stroud now needs to defend himself back as the rest of Tokyo now tighten themselves up, and we are seeing telltale signs of that leaderboard because people are playing for kills. 12 teams, 44 alive, and we've just gone over 10, just about.
this is a repeat of a fight that happened in the last game. Big shots coming out, but it's going to be answered by Zero as he gets the knock on TMG down to 3. And it looks like Solo possibly even lost another member. But they fought, if you remember, on Volcano last time. Confirmation coming out, 2 points on the board for TMG. Solo not having a good time of it here as the shots are coming in. Senya looks like he's now about to bolster the numbers from an off angle as he comes back in. But wait, gets taken down, and he takes one down with him so far, but no shots coming in from Senya in the field. That off angle playing in dividends, but Schroll going to take the fight to him and lose that fight as Solo turned the fight around. It went TMG's way last time. I think this is going to be a rewrite of history. Solo, they look in control. They're looking to get the reses. They're looking to get the flushes. They're looking to get the points and that golden ticket, Mark.
I love that both teams actually baited the car. So we saw Toko bait the car first. They got in the car and Solo came over and they got the knock. And then Solo returned the favour. They baited the car and drove away. And obviously the anchor point there for Solo out in the field got the headshots, and it actually turned it down to a 1-on-2.
Yeah, it's not looking good here. Shotgun in the back pocket, an M4, no helmet. Oh, another fight kicking off. And again, this is an important one. Looking, well, as I know from the leaderboard coming into game number 4 of the night, but Friends, they're moving up, and Cran, well, they can frag, they can trade, they are good mechanical players, and they have the advantage here. Solo, Lag wants some 3V's getting into it on Solo now as well. Not even, that was, oh my god. Nearly lands that, the kill feed baited us there, but I'll tell you who is being baited. It is going to be Friends as they're lured into the trap on the prison hill, but it looks like they're answering the call. Shots are coming out, trading back and forth, and Friends, they've got a lot of work to do, and they're hungry for it. They want this. Sahar got to play it on the ridge, but they've got to be wary of the anchor player playing behind them on the high ground. Numbers coming in, and Nordskiff, the absolute monster, is going to eat a pre-nade, and he comes to bolster the numbers. 6 kills on the side of 3V. We talk about showing on the leaderboard where you are in the last games. Well, that's exactly what they're doing right now, as they are on the frag train.
I'm glad I'm not production. I'm glad I'm not the one moving the cameras around this evening, because it is back-to-back action, and Solo is eliminated because we saw V, despite knocking one of them over, they've gone and closed that one out. We've seen Grymore with V27 on the kill feed as well. Friends playing against Cran, BFG coming in behind. It is insane.
It is insane. Grymore, they come in and got rid of 2 of the V27 players. As BFG, they come up and get involved in this fight with a nade from Ironic, and he's taken down 1, 2, 3 of Friends, and it looks like there is just 1 left. And Ironic, wow, come on, stop it, mate. You need to calm down. You have been a monster tonight. Oh, coming out. The Reds is coming forward. Friends are eliminated, and could that be the end of their tale? Only time will tell. And Mark, he knows the tale of the tape. And now I'm kind of a little bit jealous that I haven't looked at this, because I am on the edge of my seat right now.
All I'm going to say is it's other teams to watch, not the ones that are going out at the moment. Not from production. You guys keep doing what you're doing. It's fantastic, because we're loving this action that is unfolding in front of us. But because some teams are going out early, doesn't mean it's their night out. It actually means sometimes some of these issues that we're seeing in the kill feed, where we're seeing Grymore now fighting to take on some of the people that are around that sort of side of the table and getting these kills. These are the game-changing plays that we're getting to see and unfold in the last minute. Talk about these last minute though.
Sakura sent him down to just 1 player, and I know they need a hell of a game, and they're getting wiped by Grindmore. They looked really busy on that side as Purdy switches over to the Bolt, trying to land a shot onto Formation Gaming, who have had a hell of a night, and they are looking to keep themselves safe, secure in that top half of the leaderboard, which I assume they're in after the last 3 games that they've had. Oh, I'm stressing. Hyman does manage to get one onto Grindmore, so is going to get another frag on the board potentially if he can follow that one up. But Grindmore, they have the numbers, they have the advantage, and Salty, as far as I know, is the lone survivor of his team.
Look at this though. 19, 25 left, 15 on the clock. This has been the intense game we have been waiting for. Zone shift has come in. It is going back towards that prison, so it hasn't come as south as I thought it has done, but it is going to be very hectic now, because these teams we find for ages, we're seeing Formulation Gaming taking the shots done on 3V. As we came, we saw, we conquered, have came. They are seeing it, and they are getting all these kills in.
They're crashing.
Yeah, they've got to get the kills. They've got to get the kills, and they're doing it. Formulation Gaming, They want to try and get out of this one as we see 3v trying to hold that one. Look at BFG though, they're in an outstanding
Oh
position.
my god! Quality gets Stratos and Snusky down. It's only Hawkeye left. 3v. You said they needed to chase kills. You said they needed to chase points. That's exactly what they're doing. They're 3 up, 11 kills on the board. Sakura Sensen, they go out, and I think so do their dreams of qualifying. Oh my goodness, this is so intense. 3v. They have been dormant. They have been sleeping so far, and they come alive in the last game. Is it a little bit too little, too late? Quality is down, but the res is coming in as all these teams, they're scrambling, they're grinding, they're fragging, they're hungry for it, they're desperate to get these points. Grind more, 6 kills on their tally as they sneak up now onto V27. And V27, I think, have got some frags of their own, and they're about to get another one.
Wow, good shot. Grindmore trying to hold V27. And you have mentioned they got eliminated. This is a real interesting point, okay, because you mentioned it, have they left it too little too late? But let's not take a fact, they've just put 10 kills on the board. That's 10 kills that teams needed to maybe qualify. So a team that is outside qualification, and on the flip side, teams that have qualified that are sucking up kills and farming kills could potentially cause a massive disruption, because I know the point boards, there's massive disruption in the middle. The teams that want to qualify or that are trying to hold on to for qualification, they need kills.
This is insane. We're seeing BFG now. They're flexing on out, and they're trying to go towards the shots, trying to snuff out anyone that is coming up with kills into that top half of the leaderboard. They want to snuff it out. They want to make sure they're safe and secure. They've got a big split, and they're going to be rewarded as it is prison and those trenches that we've seen formerly. As now Otto, my man, is going to find the last player of formulation, but takes some huge damage, and he gets some dodging reloads. He just pre-firing and has to reload at some point. Doesn't quite get it, but Otto, you've got to land the shots, and he does. Formulation go out. 5 teams remaining, only 17 minutes on the clock. And oh my god, we talked about pace of games yesterday. This one's been electric. Aces, we got Purdy and JR. They're moving forward. They've only got 2 kills on the board, but they had a nice point gap, and now they're firmly inside those placement points. The zone hasn't even hit phase 5 yet. Ghetto Gang, 3 points, 4 players up as they move to the ridges that they saw be so powerful in the last game. Oh, this is chaos. This is exhilarating, and this might actually be the quickest game of the closed qualifiers, and I am all for it.
It is 5 teams, 13 up, and we got only just, well, let's say 18 on the clock. Wow.
This is wild. This is wild.
Oh, mate, utter insane, mate. Right, here we go. As these teams trying to crash in. Now we've got V27 and Cran. As I have a quickly little cheeky look at the leaderboard. Cran with the first knock.
As you got
Looks
it.
like V27 are trying to stick the res in. That money's coming through. Is it just? It's just too short. That Flames is spreading. Able to stick the res as that kitchen counter really held that one off. Cran now trying to get out the window as they are gonna have to go for the push. Res has come in. It is still a 2-on-1 here. Cran did get the initial knock, but now got the uphill battle. But got to get himself across and into zone a little bit.
Yeah, and give himself away, repositioning by breaking that window. They know where he is, and he hasn't quite seen that line of sight. Might be about to lose his head here, as I think the double peak's going to come out from V27. They know which building he's in, and he's got to play this very, very well. He's picked up the shotgun. He's going to wait. He's going to try and invite them in by not giving them anything, because we know if you give an inch, you can take a mile here. Little pre-fires, little bits coming out here, but the first shot of damage does go in, and the follow-up nade might be about to come in and actually take him out. The lobby breaks the door down, does do a good chunk of damage, but not quite enough. Will they act on it? Will they move on it? And they've got to be quick here, because we know that BFG and Ghetto Gang, they have 4 members up on each side, and they're going to be hearing this. They're going to be knowing that this fight is going on. They're going to be knowing that it's split teams, looking at the player count, and they are going to want those frags to close things out. Ace does get Ivor down, but Ironic answers the call immediately onto Purdy.
This is insane. This is utterly insane. We are 19.5 and 5 left. We're about to go top 4, and it is going to be a quick one. Ran down to mine. Shotgun and shotguns up here. Good use of YouTube. Oh, he's bounced back out there. Has that backfired? Is he going to come out? He has. Oh! He just gets enough on time and double taps that door. GG. And Cran going out in 5th place. Oh my god.
Not
soon
even
followed there by Ace.
Not even 20 minutes on the board, and we've got 3 teams left. It goes down to a 4v3 v2. Oh, Mark, my heart can't handle this. BFG on 10 kills surging forward. V27 on 9 kills with 2 players up. But Ghetto Gang,
the only team
they're the gatekeepers. They have it all.
There's so much zone left. These guys might not see each other into the end zone. This is crazy, as we are seeing the same end zone for these final two Orangles this evening, as it is going to be toning down. Ghetto Gang, they're capitalising where Toxic players landed on map number 9. We're seeing a rotation through, and BFG, as these guys have rotated really wide here. I fear that Ghetto Gang might be able to pick up a player at a time.
Oh, does get April down and takes the numbers down, but Ironic has to deal with the two members from V27 coming up, and he does his fateful drop down and rocks, and Nate comes up and over, and he's going to lose his life potentially. Ooh, looks like the Nate fell down. They're chasing him. They're hungry for it. The drop shot comes in and actually lands it like Batman descending from the heavens, and now it takes down BFG to a 2v3 v2. The great track in there comes out, laying down the damage into Physics, but also now having to bear the fight. Look at this move from Sancho, though. He's sweeping around. He's coming around, getting the off angle, and might be allowed to stab the boys in the back of 3. Crate comes out as Shigan does get Otto down, bringing it down to a 3v1 v2. Mark, this is electric.
Look at the kills, though, right? We've had V27 on a 10 pack. I believe BFG, they're on a 9 or 8. And then we had We Came, We Saw, We Conquered, the 3Vs. They were on 10 as well. A couple of teams have completely boosted up. If they'd done this a couple of rounds earlier, it would have been different.
It really could have been different. Oh my god, the fire in the bellies of these guys. They are competitors of the highest order. The SLR rings out, sings its song, gets 1, gets 2, but doesn't quite get the knock. Physics on 3 kills, 11 kills in the back pocket, and it looks like they're going to confirm. See you later, mate. I can't res you. If I can't have you, no one can. And dispatches of his own teammate, and I think he might be about to deny to blue, bringing it down to V27, who are laying down the law, trying to get Ghetto Gang and get it onto even terms. I think, yeah, the deny is coming out here, as they don't want to give any more points.
That was really tactical from BFG. They didn't want V27 to get the kill, because they know if they get enough kills on board and without giving away points and stuff, can they qualify? They don't want to get this. They don't want to allow them to get the scab, because don't forget, they know with that wonderful Batman drop shot that V27 were next to be looking into the middle zone, and could they have picked up an additional kill there?
I think they're also worried because Ghetto Gang are still in the qualification spots, and BFG, they're potentially about to take on over Ace's crew. So I don't think he's not even denied. He's just gone to the other end of the circle. I think he's content to let these guys fight and then play for that extra placement point and take the 1vx. Yeah, just playing on the edge. He hears Shigan as they go chasing, hunting the solo, splitting their attention, which could be the downfall here of Ghetto Gang. Physics, though, playing smart, playing wily, just allowing the lobby to do the work for him as he hears the pitter-patter of footsteps. He sees him, but was that a mutual scout there? It looks like Shigan has an indication as he's still looking this way, and it is going to be whoever sees each other first. Oh, he hears the pitter-patter of footsteps, and oh my god, Shigan's quicker. Brings us down. Oh, and he forgot the Nene. But
I didn't have time for the Nene, mate. Didn't have time for the Nene. But what a whip backwards and forwards. Yeah, utterly insane. Just literally dodge, duck, and dive, and just tagging out DFD go down. We've got a 3-on-2 in different games now because V27 haven't left each other's hip the whole game that we've seen in map number 10. It has been outstanding. And again, I feel sorry for production because they've had the whip between multiple fights that have been happening in very short contention. 24 on the clock, and it is down to our top 5 players.
Oh, big shots coming in as we go to the picture-in-picture, looking at the two teams' perspective. And Blazo, he's going to find the first one. That SLR is being absolutely devastating here as it's going to snuff out potentially the hopes, the dreams, and prayers of V22. The split angles, the man advantage firmly in their favour now as one little warrior hides in the road, tries to go prone, tries to evade the line of sight. One tap, it's over. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Ghetto Gang on 7 kills. Take it away. Oh, the last game. Oh, wow. The last game. My heart. That's the quickest game I think I've ever seen.
That's
ever.
Mad. That's mad. Utter madness. Ghetto Gang picking up their second chicken dinner of the semi-finals. So GG's Ghetto Gang. I think there is no giving away the leaderboard, but that will be securing your golden ticket to those finals, guys. I think you played outstanding, and it has been great to watch. From the moment that we opened up on our first semi-final game, you were 10 kills, and you didn't even allow Formulation Gaming to pick up the last 2 kills and take the win. So talk about showmanship. Ghetto Gang, GTG. Oh my god, GG's all the way, getting the dub there at the end. B27 let's not take anything away. Like, hey, if V27 3v became We Saw We Conquered, even those teams alone, if they'd done that 2, 3 games ago, would it have been a bit different? And I want to highlight a point before I hand it back to you, because those teams alone, because they're so far out the points pot, that them harvesting all those kills actually damages teams that are in that middle table that we're going to see shortly, because they're taking kills away from teams that actually want to get the kills to either get into the point pot or, more importantly, defend it.
You couldn't be more right if you tried. You know, I said 1 or 2 good games, 1 or 2 high fragging games, 20 odd points separated, 15th to 8th. There were 20-point games dropped then. And it was by teams that were at the bottom and teams that were near enough at the top. And it did. It stole away all those kills. Before we go any further, I'm going to roll the last giveaway of the night. So again, a big shout out to Playtonia for giving us all these codes, all these skins to give back to the community who have been here supporting me, Mark, and the boys that you've seen on screen. So let's roll that for the last time. And it is going to be Mr. winning that skin. Fantastic. Send me a DM and we will get the codes on over to you. Once again, big shout out to Playtonia for providing us with those prizes. That was the most insane game I think I've ever watched. You know, we talk about Scrims Game 6. Teams weren't memeing then. They were after the kills. They were after the placements. They wanted it. It was legit hunger. And the lobby, the juggernauts, there were forces of nature there that if they had woken up that passion, that power yesterday for 1-2 games, today for another game, it could have been a completely different top 8. It was
100%,
insane.
100%, because it's just that, like, and don't get me wrong, the games that this game that they had was outstanding, and they could have potentially continued to harvest points as well. I feel like a couple of teams that were low down were harvesting points. If only one of those teams decided to play that game and just hunt kills down and literally put pedal to the metal, I don't think the moment they even jumped out the plane, they were in 6th gear the whole time. They were continually rotating. They were continually causing issues for the team. And every time someone shot at them, it was like a magnet to go crash and take on some fights. Good amount of kill games. It's going to be great on the clips. I can't wait to go back to the clips tomorrow in channel, because I've seen a couple already smashing it out on chat. I want to go back and see them, because there has been some outstanding play going into this last game, map number 10.
Yeah, it's been nuts. I think we can look at the previous game's scores, if I'm not mistaken. We are going to go and break down some of the stats before we get to the overall leaderboards and qualification. Again, I have not seen it. I have not looked. I didn't want to know. And I've wanted to remain anonymous, but I wish I hadn't, because that was the fastest, most crazy game I've ever seen, the most insane ending to a qualification ever. So
I think when you see the scoreboard, you'll understand not the crazy game plans we saw from a couple of the guys on the end, but actually some of the different game styles that we see in the middle table. And I spoke about it and you mentioned it as well, but it's about trying to, I know PUBG is a game, it's an esports game, we love playing it, but there is a massive competitive edge to it. And part of that competitive edge is, and something I firmly believe in, is that you've got to ensure that you play your gameplay, not get sucked into other people's gameplays. And with people whipping around the map, trying to harvest kills, teams got sucked into other people's gameplays, and they fell on that sword, and they gave some points up to teams that actually I feel like they didn't need to. And I can't wait to see the end table, because it is going to be super, super, super tight.
Okay, so we can go into the last map scoreboard, and we're going to look at that. We're going to break down the points and see who did do the work, who did frag out. So, map-wise scoreboard, Ghetto Gang, 17 points. Bitfix, 16. 16 for V27. Oh, man, I wish they were dropping games like that. It was electric to watch. VVV, Veni Vendivici, 12. It just shows that everyone in this lobby deserves to be and can be at the top of the leaderboard every game. Grindmore with 7. Aces with 7. Friends with 5. Cran with 4. Mark, take us through the bottom half of this map-wise scoreboard.
I'll just refresh the table on my screen.
I'm not.
Oh my god, mate! Formulation Gaming, they're sitting in 9th place. 3 points on the points for them, as they got 2 from a ranked and 1 from a kill. Solo, they only got 2 kills. Have they done enough? That's a big question. And we've seen these guys increase their kills and their average kills per game quite tenfold actually over this one. Tokyo now in 11th. SZ Sakura Zen are in 12th. And I think you mentioned, don't think they've done enough this evening. And it has been outstanding casting them. And it has been a bit of a shocker for me. 100%. Squirtle Gang, though, are in 13th place. Toxic in 14th. Pink Pony are in 15th. And No Tag. But before we go through to that final scoreboard, let's note No Tag, Pink Pony, Toxic, Squirtle Gang, all with 0 points on the table. Let's roll over to the actual overall leaderboard, because that is a huge factor to play in the overall things of who's qualifying.
There were 5 points between 5th and 10th or 11th going into this last game, or going into game number 4. Production, please put me out of my misery. My heart can't take it. I need to see, and so do the boys. They need to know if they've made it through. They need to know if they're going to make it through to the final. Let's see who's got it.
This is shocking.
Shocking. So Ace's crew with 90. I'm going to read down. I'm not looking any further. Bitfix chased. They closed the gap by 3 points. 87 for second. Ghetto Gang secure their spot on third with 73. Toxic Players in fourth with 68. Solo on 65. Formulation Gaming on 65, sharing that. Friends, oh my God, with 61. No Tag round out the top 8 in the top qualification spots. Oh my God. Oh my God, 54. Squirtle Gang with the same total points. The kills, the rule breakers all come in.
Go back to that last screen before. Remember, Squirtle Gang and No Tags both had zero kills and 0 placement points. You got to think, right? If Squirtle Gang just put 1 kill on the board, it could have been a different point ending.
It could have. Oh my God. So 9th, 54 for Squirtle Gang. Cran, 52 in 10th, 44, 44, 11th and 12th respectively for Pink Pony and V27 as they come out the gates on the final day, but it was too little too late. TMG, Tokyo Magic Gang with 41 points. Grindmore with 36. Sakura Sensen sharing the same amount of points as VVV and 32. Wow. That is heartbreaking for Squirtle Gang. That's heartbreaking for the ponies as they put in the work. And that last game, oh my God, it was exhilarating. We're going to go over, we're going to have a look at the last damage numbers, the overall damage numbers, the leaderboards, knocks and kills. So the kill total goes out to Big Ironic, who steals it away from Purdy in the last game, bringing his total to 23 points. Purdy on 21. Jeka, who has been in that top 5 non-stop, safe as houses, 18 points. Michael on 18 points and Sauce on 18 points as well. Wow, so close. But Ironic, he's put on some individual brilliance tonight on 2 occasions that I can think of, not only winning the game, but bringing himself up to that highest kill and getting that cheeky little bonus in his back pocket.
Yeah, his damage, kills, and overall presence of the last couple of games. And again, I'll mention BFG from a round 3 onwards. That's when the presence appears and it accelerates. And Ironic is really just capitalizing that, getting the kills. And doing what he needs to do. But on the knock side plays, though, Michael and Purdy all picking up 17 on the bat, but Jeka with a 16 and Nord obviously with a 16 as well on the knock side.
Yep, so we're going to go in and have a look at the damage now. And I think Big Mike still should be sat at the top end as he breaks the 4,000 damage mark, nearly 4,500. Absolute monster. Wow, that's insane. It's consistent and just shows what an absolute insane player Michael is. Ironic comes up surging, charging behind him, 3,700. Purdy on 3,300. Jeka on 3,200 and 3,000 for Nord. It's the same faces, it's the same names, and they've been there for a reason because they've been on our lips for a hell of a lot of this best of 10.
Yeah, it's been outstanding the last couple of days, and these guys have been really consistent. We continually talk about Michael, Purdy, and Jeka. All these guys have been on this sort of leaderboard for a while. Let's not take away anything from the guys and girls who were there at the top at the beginning, but these teams really progress, and their consistency, we keep saying this, and the momentum has kept them on that side, and it has been outstanding to watch.
It has, and once again, we've got to thank Playtonia and mates for giving us all this fantastic action to watch. Ground Zero has been electric, and it's not done yet. There is a grand final. There's a lot of prize money up for grabs. But from me, from Mark, from production, we've got to say thank you. And what I want to do as well is I want to say go and follow Mark, aka Elite Esports EU, on Twitter, on Twitch. So make sure you know what he's casting, what he's up to, and what he's doing, because he does a hell of a lot. He's an active guy. go and follow Playtonia. Go and get involved with mates as well. And I just want to give a big shout out to the production crew, to all of the players for everything you've seen on our screen, and also to the audience for following us and being so loud, so proud, and supporting your boys. But from me, from Mark, it's good night, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
All clear on the roof. Heading back down.
Roger. Hurry up. We need to move.
Just make sure I don't take a bullet in the back.
Looking good. Keep it steady.
I hear footsteps. I got a bad feeling.
Enemy spotted. Move! Move!
You're going up next time.
There won't be a next time.
Oi, Amelia, what's the deal then?
2 up top, 2 downstairs.
All right, so we just go prancing in the front door as per usual then, huh?
Not today, hermano. We must be like ghosts. Trust me, these will do the trick. The fog of war. Remove all visibility. We take them out one by one. They won't know what hit them.
Oi, who's that behind you? Look, here's what we do. Surprise attack. We go in big chicken dinner style through the window, guns blazing.
You mean like in Miramar?
Oh, shit. Enough. First, we smoke out the first floor. But we'll need a distraction. Something super loud and obnoxious.
Right, I see where this is going.
Don't worry, Aziz. I got your back.
Winner, winner.
So, where to next?
you